Yo, everybody, good to see you. Hope you're all having a good day. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-sized moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes some live 2D rigging streams. And today is one of those drawing streams that we're going to be working on an emote for somebody. They don't know we're working on that emote today, and I'm doing it just to kind of bully them in a way. How do we do that? Well, you ever bully people with gifts? Sometimes people don't like gifts. Or at least they feel weird about gifts. That's how we're trying to get them. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoy your day. I hope you all enjoy your stay. We're going to be working on a gun emote for a Mooney. So look forward to that. And with that being said, good to see you there, everybody. Good to see you there, Zelda, Giannis, Leon, John, Blobby. How y'all be? I hope everybody's doing well. Let's give a shout out to Blobby Derp. If you haven't checked out Blobby, I highly recommend that you do. They play a good variety of games, really awesome people, really cool streams, really chill times. Like, they do all sorts of things. Like, legitimately a variety streamer, if you ever done heard of one. Because they do all sorts of stuff. They do video editing. They do video editing. They do perfuming. They do, they build things on streams. They play all sorts of games. They do a lot of things. Go check them out. And welcome on in there, Chef the Explorer. Hope you're doing well. I always act like I'm doing something evil when I give gifts. Exactly. That's how you do it. I am here again. Welcome back here again. I couldn't help it. All right, let's see. You know, I'd love to commission artists for things, but I'm so poor that I couldn't even afford to pay them in exposure. You know what? That's honestly fair and reasonable. I would say if you don't know, if you want to commission people, but you can't do it because you ain't got no money for it, then it's time to do the next best thing. Time to figure out how to draw. If there's time. If not, if there's other passions that you have, go follow those passions instead. But if you ever wanted art and you couldn't afford it, best thing to do is try to figure out if you could draw it yourself. Sometimes it works out a lot better. Sometimes. Well, actually, yeah, I still think it would still work better. Also, welcome on then there, Viewable Taco. How you be? I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're Lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. I just also realized something. Realized something. The sound is gone. We're in a good sign right now. That's a very good sign. So that sound is finally gone. We're finally free. We're finally good. Also, welcome on in there, EB. Let's give a shout out to EB as well. Speaking of art, EB does a lot of arts. They make a lot of custom characters and people can buy off of them. Go check them out. Really awesome people. All right. So, Lampy, you know how I'm learning Blender? Oh, yeah. How is the Blender learning going there, John? Art can be relaxing or frustrating depending on your mindset. True, very true. I know that feeling all too well as someone who's done art. I know that feeling way too well. I've had so many projects where they're passion projects and then other projects that are also passion projects, but the longer I work on it, the more and more I begin to hate the process. But that's just sometimes, you know. Also, hold on a minute. I forgot. We need to make a new layer for the sketch. I'm not going to give it a number. I'm not going to give it a layer, or I'm not going to give it a name. I'm just going to leave it as a blank layer. And there we go. That's the first starting point. That's going to be the head of the layer. Also, let's add the rat model to the screen. Thank you for redeeming thank you for redeeming rat there, Blobby. Rat. There it is. Which, by the way there, folks, if you like this rat model, you can find it available on the Etsy or the vgen page at a very affordable price. It's only like 10 bucks for your very own rat model. Use it as your own model. Use it as a mascot, however you want to go about it. Use it however you see fit. And yeah, there you go. It also comes with a lot of different features. It comes with the classic ones. It comes with the mad face. It comes with the sad face. It comes with the red eyes. It can also be a chinchilla. It can also be a lab rat. It can also... Hold on a minute. Let's bring this down. It could also go quadrupedal mode as well. And for no reason at all whatsoever, it could be the Kingpin. What do I mean? Look up Kingpin from Enter the Spider-Verse. You'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, there you go. Also, last but not least, before we forget. Rat. There we go. All right, let's put this rat right all the way down over here. Thank you for redeeming rat there, Blobby. Guess whose model is simple enough to make as my first model? Oh, it's the burrito. The burrito looks like a very, very simple model to work on. Yeah. I have rock PTSD from my passion projects. Wait, why rock? I don't want to draw rocks again. Oh, understandable. Have a nice day. That's completely fair. Also, welcome on in there, Fortune. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Name the first layer. Oh, yeah. Name the first layer ogres. That's true. Oh, yeah. Good idea. First layer is ogres. I see what you did there. I see the... I get the picture. What kind of emotes are we making today? We are making gun emotes. No, it's you. Oh, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Let me know how it... Or yeah, feel free to send all the progress. Also, I am very honored. I don't even know where to begin with all of that. 1, I am very honored. 2, feel free to send all the results of how the project went, because that sounds really awesome. And I can't wait to see... Or yeah, I'm wishing you the best of luck with all of the... I'm wishing you the best of luck with your endeavors, because... Okay, so that actually brings me back to the other thing that I was going to mention. When it came to... the whole thing about working on a project yourself, giving it a shot, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The reason why I say sometimes it doesn't is because I've had personal experience of trying to learn 3D work myself. It didn't work out. It legitimately did not work out. It turns out sometimes how do I put it? I gave it a shot, it didn't work, so now I have other people work on 3D works for me. Video editing, on the other hand, is a different story. I think video editing went really, I feel like I did really well with video editing. But when it comes to professional work, yeah, I send that to somebody else. Or like, if it's a really, really big project, I send it to somebody else. Which also reminds me, the video editing is the tutorial videos, they're really, really close. And I'm patiently waiting on that one. I'm like, okay, it's almost there. It's almost there. I could be posting the first half of the video segments right now, but I feel like it's better to just... Maybe I should just drop them all one after the other. I don't know. Like, part of me feels like I should try to just get all the videos, get them all edited, and then just drop them 1 week after another. Just so, like, there's a healthy segment that they could process through. But at the same time, I'm thinking, what if I just start dropping them now, and the last 6 videos aren't ready yet? Then it's kind of stuck. So I'm like, okay, so I should just wait. I should just sit back, wait for them all to pop up. Once they're all finished, once they're all ready, then I send them out. But I still need to commission for the second half. And I think that's the part where it gets a little tricky. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Welcome on in there, Alistair. Hope you're having a good day. All right, let me see. Let me try to catch up with some works right here. But yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting to draw rocks. That is That is just honestly a struggle right there. I hope you never have to draw rocks again then. That's the best way for me to put it there, Chef. I hope you never have to draw rocks again. Now let me see. Yeah, I'll send little updates. All right, sounds good, sounds good. I'm so glad that Blender is coming very natural to me. That's also good to hear, because the first time I tried Blender, good lord, that one was a struggle. That one was honestly a pain. Like I said, I tried learning Blender, I couldn't figure it out. So the fact that it's coming along really well for you, that is great to hear. Yeah, that's honestly just great to hear. And I hope it stays that way. I hope that it continues to move smoothly. And if there are any difficulties, that you're able to figure them out. I think this should work for the sketch. There we go. I think this works. All right, also, let's see. What size do you draw your emotes at? Ah, that's a good question. Oh, wait, let me see. Okay, one, that is a good question, but I also missed a message. I've done 2D all my life, but 3D just feels right. You know what? That's fair. If it fits, if it works, then that's what really matters behind it all. Also, what size do I make my emotes? Well, I have to make a couple variants when it comes to the emote size. When it comes to just making the design itself, I start with 6x6. Like 6 inches by 6 inches, or, well, let's see let me check the actual image size. Okay, so if that's inches, that would be 432 pixels by 432 pixels. Or, 432 by 432. That's the size of the image itself. But depending on where this image is supposed to be, I test it out and try to make smaller images or smaller versions of said image. So it's easier to work with when it comes to dropping it off on either Twitch or Discord, because those are the main two that I usually hear a lot of the time. I actually have yet to get a commission for someone asking for emotes for their YouTube channel yet. Maybe that'll happen in the future, but over the years that I've been doing this, and it's been a lot of years, it's been almost half a decade now, I have yet to get a single request for emotes for their YouTube. Or maybe they're the same size, I don't know. Maybe it's like the same thing. It could be. As far as I know, it could be. But yeah, for the image size for Twitch, it all really depends. I try to go for 300 pixels for the Twitch images, because when it comes to the emotes, they just have to be... if I'm correct, they just have to be under 1 megabyte. Or 1 megabyte specifically. It's either 1 megabyte specifically or under 1 megabyte. But if you're starting out with emotes, I would highly recommend starting with a really, really small image to practice. Because when it comes to emotes, you always got to remember, these things are got to be really, really small. So you got to be ready for that. Yo, Mothman, welcome on in. Let's give a shout out to Mothman. Folks, if you haven't checked out the Mothman, I highly recommend that you do. They play a good variety of games. Actually, they just started playing video games as very recently. They do a lot of arting. They also worked on their own live 2D rig. Ooh, surprise. They're working on a new live 2D rig, or a live 2D model for themselves in the future. Go over there, go support, look forward to that. They also do oil paintings, all sorts of stuff. They play all sorts of, they do all sorts of things. Really amazing streams over there. Go check them out. I highly recommend that you do. Also, welcome on in there, Nakamata. How you be? But yeah, how was everybody's week? I hope everybody's doing well. Or weekend. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. It's a massive learning curve that I can just sink my teeth into. That's always good to hear. I'm wishing you the best of luck there, John. You got this. Thank you for the shout out. Yeah, no problem. No, thank you for something by. Greatly appreciate it. I'm doing good. Hope you've been well. I've been brainstorming all day. Okay, so I mentioned this before that I was working on the Lampy comic again, but these last 2 pages, I'm trying to specifically reduce it to 2 pages before I go back into the mech fight. But since I'm trying to figure that out, I'm trying to think, how do I maximize the effectiveness of those 2 pages before getting back into the mech fight? Because there's a lot to work on. There's a lot to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get all of that to work. Little by little, slowly but surely. I'll figure something out. Along with that, I've been getting a lot of commissions as of recent. I've been getting a lot of commissions. Like, just as soon as I said, all right, commissions are open, all of a sudden, like, just boom, barreled down the door, like, and they might be closed in a week. So, yeah. Also, folks, you know what? I know, Nekomata, I know you said you haven't streamed in a while and you don't plan to yet, but let's give a shout out to Nekomata as well, because this coming week, we're going to be working on a specific art piece. It's going to be a very, very cursed art piece. Waffle House is involved, and that was commissioned by Nekomata over here. Let's show some support to Nekomata. Yeah. Because they are, because of Nekomata, we're going to be drawing Waffle House. So look forward to that. All right, let me see. Mech Fight Lampy would go hard if it was animated like Gundam. Okay, that would be cool, but there ain't no way I am animating a whole anime for that one fight scene. Do you have any idea how much work goes into... I mean, well, maybe you already do. If you've been here long enough, you've seen how long it takes for one animation. Like, for one 3... Like, maybe not even 3. Like, maybe 2-second animation. It takes a while. So imagine if just one person tried to animate an entire 30-minute to 3 20-minute episode. Yeah, that probably... Heck, not even that. Like, I mean, I'm thinking too far ahead for that one. Let's tone that one down a bit. Imagine if it was a 10-minute fight. That would still be pain. I'm just thinking about that. Oh, God. You know what I hate there? Is that I'm considering it. And I don't want to consider it, because I know how much work that's going to be. God, I don't want to consider how much work that's going to be. So I'm not. I'm going back to the comic. Also, Kui, welcome on in. How you be? Hope you're having a good day there, buddy. We're going to catch up as well as you there, Rikuyo. And let's give a shout out to the Kui. If you haven't checked out Kui, you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's very funny streams over there. They play a lot of Night Rain, they play a lot of Elden Ring, they play a lot of Repo, they play all sorts of games, and it's really hilarious, and you never know what they're gonna say. Okay, let me put it to you this way. I've hung out with a lot of deranged and unhinged folks out there that have said some of the wildest of things. Mattias. But Kui takes the cake. I swear, most of the time, like, whenever I hear someone say some wild stuff, I'm usually like, I shouldn't be surprised, but there it is. When Kui says something, I'm just sitting there like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, repeat that one more time? Huh? Hold on. Waffle House? Waffle House. Let me try to catch up some things. Look at all the silly goobers who want to give you money. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nobody said money. Nobody said money. Okay, we were talking about commissions earlier, but that's not what we were talking about. No. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. It's all because of that one stream mentioned Waffle House, right? There's just something about Waffle House. Waffle House makes people a little insane. I know what you mean. It seems like such a cool project to undertake. Animating would be dope as hell. It would be if it wasn't such torture on the person. Perfect example. Have y'all seen the scenes in that one anime? Actually, have you ever seen Okay. I was gonna bring up Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I started thinking about some of the other animes, and then I really started thinking about this one really big anime. Well, not big anime, but all the movies, all of those freaking whatchamacallits, trying to remember what they're called. The Studio Ghibli movies. They look amazing. They look phenomenal. The animation is so freaking smooth. Imagine how much god-awful work went into making all of that. I've mentioned this many a times. If anyone ever asked me, hey, Lampy, if you could animate for someone, would you ever who would you animate for? I could definitely tell you one place I wouldn't animate for. Studio Ghibli. Because good lord, it looks beautiful, but I ain't no way I'm putting in all that work. Also, welcome on in there, Ryu. Thank you for the 45 stream streak. Welcome on in there, Mooney. Hey, Mooney, take this. Yo, folks. This is the witch of the hour. This is the person of the hour. All of that good stuff. Also, when I say witch, I don't mean that as an insult. That is literally their character thing. Or, you know, their avatar thing. Welcome on in. This is the person that we're going to be drawing today. This is the emote that we're going to be making. You said I couldn't get you there, Mooney? Well, check this out. Accepted. Anyway, go check them out. Go pay the witch tax as well. All of that good stuff. I hope you enjoy. Anyway, we're going to be working on this here right quick. We're just going to be bringing this down a little bit. Because, yeah, I was trying to figure out, what's a way to bully Mooney? What could I draw that could bully Mooney? And I couldn't figure it out. So I asked for help. I got help. They told me what to do. And the answer wasn't what I should draw. Or, yeah, the question wasn't what I should draw, but that I should draw. And so, yeah, there we go. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, 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 indeed. Here you go. Here's the doggy treat. There you go. So, with that being said, that's what we're working on today. Now, let me see. Where is the character or the character design anyway? Where did I put that thing? And in case you're wondering, who told? I ain't telling. Or yeah, who gave me this idea? I ain't snitching. So, hoo-hoo. Alright, let me try to catch up some things. I should get a Kiwi emote. You should get a Kiwi emote there. Yeah, great. Or yeah, that would be awesome. Alright, let's see. I love that Waffle House gets mentioned and everyone goes feral. I mean, it's Waffle House. You don't even have to mention Waffle House. You just have to be at Waffle House and everyone goes feral. I wish Studio Ghibli was my grandfather. Wait, why? So, not Studio Ghibli. Is Mappa on the table then? No. No, I'm not going to any of those places, mostly because I don't want to go through all that work. Wait, why is edgelord not allowed? Okay, so Rakuya, we're gonna allow your message, but I am honestly confused why they auto-modded you for the word edgelord. Is it because edgelord is considered a derogatory term? Is it because of the could it be? Yeah, could it be because it's considered an insult in some way, shape, or form sometimes? I don't know, but there we go. That's a weird one. dude. I'm gonna cry? Good. And I hope you enjoy once it's done. Alright, let me see. Save and hydrate, good idea. Also, welcome on in there, Death God. Hope things are going well, hope things are good. We're gonna call this one Mooney Gun. There, perfect. I could see the automatic catching that, but that's literally just their character for 3 seasons, right? Okay, let me see. Remember that Attack on Titan scene of, I don't know his name, that one boring edgelord just nooming through the street, getting destroyed for almost a minute? One dude did that all 200 frames. 200 frames? Yeah, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. If I was expected to do 200 frames, I'm gonna make sure that I am getting paid big time, because, yeah, no. No. Don't feel better, because Twitch doesn't look like the word, doesn't like the word redneck. Okay, so funny enough about the term redneck, I didn't consider it what it was. Also, Amber, welcome on in. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. I didn't consider the thought until someone asked me during a Resident Evil stream. Okay, not during my Resident Evil stream, but I didn't consider how offensive it could be until I had to explain it. Because they were playing Resident Evil. No, it wasn't redneck, it was hick. I said, yeah, go get that hick. And then they were like, because they're not in the States, they legit asked me, like, wait, hick? What's a hick? And I'm like, okay, so you see what hick is, a low, huh. Now that I think about it, explaining the word hick makes it sound really messed up. So now I look at it like, you know what? Don't worry about it. All right, let me see. But also, going back to that 200 frames, that's why I never want to work on all of that. That's why I never want to deal with the 200 frames. Like, good lord. Wait, if edge is considered derogatory, is chud then banned too? Surprisingly, no. You got away with that word. Is it because of edge? No, I think it's just because of edge lord. I think it's just that. I'm good, just relaxing. So I saw that one. Also, Amber, thank you for the hydrate. I greatly appreciate it. 200 frames, light work. Clueless. Nah, but actually that's insane. It is. And I've heard about situations where when they're trying to make all of those frames, when they're trying to do all of that work, sometimes they don't even go home. Because if they did, that would be time lost, because if I'm correct, though, the people that were working on those ones, they didn't get paid by the hour. They got paid for the frame. I don't remember how much money it was for each frame, but if I'm correct, they got paid by frame, not by hour. So in order to get that money that they needed, they stayed at work. They lived at work. They slept at work. They just, and hearing those sort of stories, I mean, granted, it's Japan, so work is always #1 thing for them out there. Okay, maybe not #1 thing, but you know what I mean. Like, the job takes everything in Japan, so it's understandable that that's where it's happening the most. But I'm just looking at jobs like that, like, no. And no, I ain't dealing with all that. That's also why I can't live in Japan, because I ain't dealing with all that. Plus, I don't know the language. So yeah, I'm just looking at all that like, no. Also, John, thank you for the... Yeah, let me see. You're welcome. I'm gonna be... Oh, let's see. I'm gonna be working on your little gift. Have a good one. All right there, John. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. I'm wishing you the best of luck. And I hope it goes well. You do your lurking. Also, thank you for the hydrating and the stretch. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let me see. Ironically, most of the people I meet in the South who ID as a redneck aren't offended, but those other two words are definitely insults. Yeah. Because I also thought about it. I was like, okay, so yeah, redneck is kind of something similar to blah, 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 blah. And while I was explaining that one, it was like, you know, it's kind of like, well, not as bad as hillbilly, but yeah, it's not quite like hillbilly, but it's not quite like redneck. And then when they ask, like, wait, what's a hillbilly? Like, something you should run away from if you ever hear a banjo out in the woods. That's all I could really say. And I just really started thinking about it, like, huh. You know, we kind of take these words for granted, because when we hear them, like, yeah, or, you know, us in the States, when we hear it, like, oh yeah, no, you know, it's just a regular old hick. You know, crazy old redneck. But the moment I had to explain it, I'm like, okay, so you see what it is. Huh. Huh. Never really sounded as bad until I have to put it into words. Also, Moth Mummy, welcome on in. You mind if I just call you Moth? Hope you're enjoying your day. Hope things are going well. Welcome on in there, fellow Moth. Also, good to see you there, Homicide. How be things? We talked about Studio Mappa? Yeah. Lost the game, by the way? I always do. But yeah, we were talking about Studio Mappa not long ago. Well, not specifically Studio Mappa, but mostly just animation studios where they push their animators to the limit. Is also why two things. One, their animations look phenomenal, and yeah, one, their animations look phenomenal, and two, I'd never want to work there. We were mostly talking about Ghibli though, but yeah, I mean, same road when you think about it, or similar road when you think about it. Maybe not same road, but similar road. That's why I was looking at that, like, yeah, no, they look amazing. I ain't doing all that. This is why I can never be a great animator, because I'm just looking at that like, that is a lot of work. That's not for me. Not unless it's my own personal project, in which case I may torture myself with work. That's the best way for me to put it. Yes, that's fine. All right, sounds good, sounds good. Believe it or not, every stream I've watched, I always get auto-modded for calling myself a redneck, because I am one. You know what? That's fair and understandable. Well, okay, fair and understandable on your part. Rather odd out of Twitch. But I guess it's the same thing that I mentioned before when you get auto-modded for something like, wait, that's a bad thing? When? Like, oh, well, you see, if you think about it this way, like, oh. Okay, I see where you're coming from, but can I keep calling myself that? Alright, so let me see. What on earth was I trying to do here again? Oh. Here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to remove that line. You know what? Why am I doing this part? Let's reduce the opacity here. Let's actually bring the image size down just a bit so I can put the sketch of the hair. We need to make a new layer, and we need to add the hair. Alright, let me see. I mean, Mappa got some bad PR for impressively running their animators down. Was that the Jujutsu Kaisen studio? If so, yeah, I heard about that one too. Back-to-back banger animes. Oh, so there was more than one, understandable. Also, that... I cannot read that name. I apologize, but I cannot read that name. But I thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Also, big shout outs to Quee. The little Windows sound, or yeah, the Windows PC sound is gone whenever I switch between scenes. So thank God that's finally done. It's finally over. We're finally free from those sounds. All right, let's see. I get auto-modded when I use... Oh, I get auto-modded when I used to talk to type of it. Oh. I get auto-modded when I used to type if it forgets... Oh. Type if it forgets to put spaces. Thinks I'm sending links. Oh, when you type a period and then you accidentally put... Okay, that one, I get that one entirely. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but that one, I will say, is a little more understandable, because if you accidentally put that space and then it just counts it as a link, then yeah, I could see why they would hit that one. It still sucks, but that one I can understand. That one I could see like, oh, whoops, yeah, fair enough. Also, welcome on in there, Spock. How you be? Pound Puppies gets auto-modded, and it's a cartoon toy line. You know what, fair, Spock? It is a cartoon it is a cartoon toy line. That is a tough word. That is a tough sentence, or a tough line of words to say. Cartoon toy line. But that could either be interpreted in two different ways, and neither one of them are very good. So I could see why they hit the term Pound Puppies. There might even be a third term that I have no idea about, or a third interpretation of that I have no idea about. But I could see why they looked at that like, this person's trying to beat up dogs. Let's see. Do what to what? Wait, what were we talking about? Yeah, that was them? Ah, fair. 10 to 1, the big people that run Twitch and are rednecks, because if they ever fix something that will work temporarily, and it worked... Oh, let's see. 10 to 1, the big people that run Twitch are rednecks, because if they have ever fixed something that will work temporarily, and it works... Oh, it works as one. Oh, it only works once, I'm assuming. Okay, Lampy, do you have a Discord? There is a Discord. It also takes a minute to get into the Discord, because I usually have to add people manually to avoid bots and other nefarious people trying to jump into the Discord. So, also, how do I draw hair again? So, if you enter the Discord and it's not so simple to jump into that, just know that it's not on your side. It's just that I have to manually add you later on. I hope that helps. Also, welcome on in there, Triforce. Lampy, hi, how are you? How are you doing? Raise his hand. I don't have any money. All I have is lanterns. Give me the lanterns. Welcome on in there, Triforce. How you be? I hope things are going well. We are currently just drawing another gun emote, as we always do. Why? Because gun emote. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think one of my most popular emotes whenever anyone comes around here, they always want a gun emote. I don't blame them. It's a very fun emote. Thank you for the crab brave there, Death God. Alright, let's see. Oh, the streaks again? Yeah. Thank you for the 45 stream streak there, Spock. I greatly appreciate that. I'm doing alright. Still recovering from being sick. Ooh, sorry to hear that. I hope the recovery goes well, and I hope you recover soon. But yeah, going back to it. This is what I always bring up as well, because since a lot of people ask me for guns, for gun emotes, whenever anyone asks who gave this moth a gun, I'm always looking at that like, you think people give me guns? You should be asking, where are people getting all these guns from? Then you'll get your answer. Because that's how it always goes. That's how it always works. You see someone with a gun, chances are, it may have been from Lampy. It may have been from this book. Not all the time. But sometimes. Sometimes. and I've said it before. Actually, there was a time. Okay, I don't think it needs to be said anymore, but I remember way back in the day, like way back. And by way back, I mean like 2021. 2021 or 2022, I was talking about, you know what? More moths should weaponize. We need more weaponry to fight back against our birdly adversaries. Granted, granted, at the same time, I've met a lot of streamer homies that happen to go for the bird avatar or the bird theme. So it's kind of funny how things turned out. I was telling people we should weaponize against our bird adversaries. Now that's most of my friends. Funny how life works like that sometimes. This never turns out the way you think. You find the most you find the most unlikely ally, you find some of your greatest allies in your most unlikely of places. Or words, I don't know. Hey, you know what I mean. Welcome on in there, Destroyer. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Let's give a shout out to Destroyer. Oh, before I forget, let's also give a shout out to the Homicide Bunny. Check them both out. Very awesome people. Really cool streams. Really funny times. I have been bullied to say that in Destroyer's stream. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Both of them, great streams. All of that good stuff. Okay, let's talk about Destroyer first. Destroyer has some really cool streams, some really awesome folks, some really chill times, some very casual streams. If you want to just sit back and chill and just hang out, that's a good place to go. They play all sorts of games like the Power Worlds, the other shooter games, and top-down strategy games like Wizard Breach or Breach Wizards, stuff like that. Really cool times over there. You go check out Homicide the Bunny. They are a rabbit, and they play a good variety of games. Very funny times. Also, did I have to bring up that they're a rabbit? No, but I thought it would be a fun feature. Like, just know, yeah, Homicide is a rabbit. They're a rabbit. They're a bunny. Go check them out. And they play a good variety of games. If I last remember, wait, Homicide, were you playing Halo? I swear I saw you playing Halo. I don't remember. Or was it? Oh, you were playing Baldur's Gate as well. Okay, I did not know about the Baldur's Gate one, but for some reason... No, it was Helldivers. Wait, was it Helldivers? I feel like it was Helldivers. I need to wake up at proper hours so I can watch your streams. When do you stream? What hours? Either way, go watch them both. Go support them both. Really awesome people. Really cool folks. You said it like it was a slur. Oh, nah. I haven't played Halo in a while. Probably Helldivers? Oh, it was Helldivers. Wait, is that why the last person that I said, did I have to mention that they're a rabbit, looked at me like, wait, what? You know what? That might explain it now. Maybe I should just stop saying that sentence. I should probably stop saying that sentence, because it's coming out a lot worse than I intended to. I'm like, do I have to bring up they're a rabbit? No, but I thought you'd like to know that they're a rabbit. People like rabbits. Instead, it just sounds like, do you have to know that they're this? No. But they are. That's all you need to know. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm thank you for letting me know. After 2 times of trying this, I now know I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna drop that part of the... I'm gonna drop that part of whenever I'm trying to advertise, folks. I'm not gonna bring up, hey, did you need to know about this? No, but... Now I know better. Now I know better. Wild times. Alright, also, let me check some things out. All the shoutouts, all the shoutouts. Alright, also, let me see. I feel like I missed a couple of messages. Everyone wants to give the emote a... I'm gonna stop right there. I see a pun when I see... Or, yeah, I know a pun when I see one. Alright, let's see. Definitely not nefarious. Yeah, totally not nefarious. I mean, if they were nefarious, why would they be here with a very, suspecting bug? Am I right? No, totally not nefarious people here. Totally not just a group of villains just hanging out all together, all in one spot. No. Wait, is that why NASCAD keeps showing up here? We're trying to find out our villainous ways. They're trying to find out our villainous scheme. I think the gun VTuber gave you the gun. There's a gun VTuber out there, and I haven't met them yet. I need to find out where this gun VTuber is. Alright. VTuber who is also a gun. I've yet to see that, and if they do exist, I need to see this. Drawing stream starting now. 45 minutes ago is not now. Oh, 45 minutes ago is not now, Discord. Yeah. Notifications suck nowadays, I swear. Also, let's give a shout out to Imatron. Go check out the Imatron. Really awesome people, really cool folks, really cool streams, all that good stuff. They also do art and they also do drawing. They also play a good variety of games, and they're a big fan of the Minecrafts. So if you want to check out Minecraft, that's a good place to go, or Dead Space, or many other games. 100% the Gun Devil VTuber out there somewhere. Yes, and that Gun Devil VTuber totally doesn't look like a moth. In the olden days, when he would call his friends on tin can and wire. Yeah, the good old days when we had wired we had telephone. That was specifically the name of the phones back in the day. They were specifically called the telly. Okay. Actually, no, I take it back. I think the telly was only a phrase that was used in Britain. I could be wrong. Anyone else use the word the telly that's not from Britain or London? Wait, I think London is the city. I think Britain is the actual country. Anyone who's out there, let me know which one is it. If I'm correct, London is the city and Britain is the country, but I could be wrong because I've never left this country of the US, not once. So I don't know, Jack. All right, let's see. Flip it and ship it? Nah. 8-ish PST. Oh yeah, it is almost 8. Okay, well for me it's almost 8. It's like 7:53.
Domain expansion. Infinite made outfits.
No. Take that away. Also, thank you for the 45 months there, Ryu. I greatly appreciate it. If you were a streamer, I would shout you out. Or if this was Kiko's stream, I would definitely shout you out. They're on to us. Quick, grab the loot and run. Don't leave anything behind. Quick, grab, what's the word I'm looking for? First, grab your loot, grab your rats, grab your lamp. Where's the lamp? There it is. Nope, that's not the lamp. That's the entire room. Okay, take the lamp. There we go. All right, perfect. Don't let them nefarious heroes steal or ruin our plans, foil our schemes, all of that. We can't have that. All right, let's see. Are we playing nefarious schemes or planning nefarious schemes? Always. Telly usually means television, didn't it? Oh yeah, you're right. The telly did mean television. Okay, yeah, that's on me. Yeah, that's me not understanding that one. That's fair. You're right. I got that one completely wrong. It's the TV. I have to still use my AT&T rotary dial red phone. UK telly is usually television. Ah, fair. 8 a.m. Shout out to Madam Butterfly. Shout out to Madam Butterfly too. I'm glad I'm not a streamer. Maybe someday. I know it doesn't work, but I do it anywhere. I do it everywhere. That's honestly fair and reasonable. Oh, right. So, I think we're nearly set with this sketch. There's just a couple more features that we need to add here. We need to add the sleeves. We need to add... What's the word I'm looking for here? I just need to add certain features to the sketch. We actually need to add ears for once, because I think this is the first time we've ever added ears. And we need to add a face. We haven't added a face to the whole design yet. We also need to add these vents. Which is funny, because it wasn't until I started watching VTubers that I found out that this part is called a vent for some reason. I don't know why, but it is. So, yeah, there we go. Also, I think that's a star, so you know what? Close enough. Do we need that small Okay, here's the funny thing. I've mentioned this about emotes 100 times. This detail here, you are never going to see on that emote. So if we want that detail to actually be seen, we actually need to make this star a whole lot bigger. But before we make this star a whole lot bigger, we need to give a shout out to Seven and Jira. Welcome on in. How ya be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Let's give a shout out to 171. Go check them out, as well as Jira. Both awesome streams, really cool people. They play a good variety of games. Always awesome stuff over there. And everyone stopping by from Jira and 7 streams. Oh, also, well, I'll bring this up after the intro. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-sized moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes I live to do rigging streams. And today is one of those drawing streams. We're currently working on an emote for a Miss Moonlight because I wanted to bully them. Because they said that I couldn't, or that I had no ammo to bully them with. So I was like, okay, I may not have the answers, but I know someone who might. So I started asking around. I got my answer. It's not so much of what I needed to draw. It's the fact that I had to draw something. That's all there really was just gift them and you'll bully, or that's already how you bully them. Like, oh, so I didn't even have to do anything specific. I just had to do something. Good to know. And I hope you all enjoy your day. I hope you all enjoy your stay. And if you got to take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about raiding or running, because that's what raids are all about. But if you decide to stick around, I greatly appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy your stay. And even though they weren't part of that collab today, they're still not safe. Get Alito too. Alito also really awesome people, really cool streams, all that good stuff. Really cool times. I highly recommend checking them out too. Let me try to catch up with some reading over here. Also, yeah, no, the music's still running. Okay, there's a TV license. I remember the days of TV license. That's when you had to record, or you needed a license to record the football game or some sort of show. Also, pay the shadow tax. It exists. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Shadow tax exists. See, if there's a shadow raid, there's a shadow tax. Prove me wrong. Also, a bag of bass. I like that name. A bag of bass. Thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. All right, let me see. Welcome on in there, Jiro. Welcome on in there, Alito. Daka, Soj, let's give a shout out to the shows.
Lampy Moth Tax.
There is no Lampy Moth Tax. Ignore Jira. That doesn't exist. Let's give a shout out to the Sojita. If you haven't checked out Soj, I highly recommend that you do. This is a really, really good place to nerd out. If you like places to nerd out, Soj is a good place to go. They play all sorts of games. They talk about all sorts of nerdy stuff. They also talk about their balls. But that's not the point. The point is really funny times over there, really hilarious streams, really cool people. I highly recommend checking them out if you haven't checked them out already. If you haven't, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go check out the Soj. And apparently they also like cooking on the grill. So if you like grills, if you like cooking, they don't cook on stream, but that's still a good place to go. I recommend it. Also, I see a Bambi. Let's give a shout out to Bambi as well. Bambi ain't safe either. Bambi also does a lot of arting. We're just shouting everybody out right now. Bambi does a lot of arting. Really cool streams, really cool times, very hilarious streams, easily scared. I mean, what that last part didn't happen. Go pay the dragon tax. Really cool times over there. And let's give a shout out. What the?
Paying that Lampy Moth Tax before the Lampies come get me with a shotgun.
Okay, first off, there is no Lampy tax. Stop saying Lampy tax. It doesn't exist. No. Why is there a hype train? Okay, anyway, as I was saying, there is no Lampy tax. You ain't need to know any of that sort of stuff. That ain't happening. That ain't there. Also, we need to add a model later on. We also got to give a shout out to the Not Evil Control Freak. Why? Because they're really awesome people. They are a bat. Really cool streams. Really funny times. Really chill moments over there. And they're an absolute...
Tax you say Ben Bib Nina.
No taxes. No taxes, I say. Also, hold on a minute. Pen spin. Thank you for redeeming pen spin. So, go check out Not Evil Control Freak. Really funny streams over there. Absolute gremlin. They bully everybody. Really cool times. And if you're a fan of Hytale, that's a good place to go. They've been playing a lot of the Hytale. They also play Dead Space. You should totally watch them play Dead Space. Dead Space is a good stream too. A really awesome time. Also, if you want to check out, or they also have a new addition to their model. They got a pair of wings that may or may not have been drawn and rigged by yours truly. Go check out them wings. They're really awesome. Actually, go check out the whole model. I did not draw the full body model, but whoever, yeah, those that did draw and rig the full body, they did an amazing job as well. Go check them out too. Really awesome stuff. All of that. There's a shadow tax only if you're not Shadow Wizard. Oh, there's a shadow tax only if you're not Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love filing for tax exemption. See, exactly. And last I checked, Jira is not a Shadow Wizard. Nor does he have a money gang. So therefore, there's a shadow tax. On my balls? Exactly, exactly. Oh, so Moth, or yeah, oh. I'm assuming they mean Lampy. I now stream with a friend to build and run a tabletop RPG we are designing. Hey, nice. That's actually pretty awesome right there. Also, ad start in a minute. You're too sweet, Lampy. Lies and slander, I know you. You're awesome. Never forget it there, Soj. Is there a shadow raid? You know... Oh, you know we should talk about raid shadow legend gets dragged away. Throne? No throne. Also, thank you for the bits there, Alito. Thank you for the bits, Bambi. Thank you for the bits, Jiro. Save your money. I'm gonna invade their thrones later. No one is safe from Lampy. Exactly, no one's safe. Mostly because they come after me too. The moment I show up into one of their streams, they immediately bombard me. So I'm like, okay. That's it. Thank you for the giant emote as well. No shadow tax, but I do... Oh. No shadow tax, but I go do some after stream care. Have a great stream and great emote. Alright, sounds good there, Jira. And thank you. I greatly appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy your night. Thank you again for the raid. And I hope you have a great day, a better tomorrow, and an even better week. You take care now there, buddy. God, that means I am safe. For now. Only time will tell. Now, let's get back to the drawing at hand. Because we got to finish off this here emote. I'm hoping to get it done in one shot. But I know exactly how I want to work on this emote. I know exactly how I'm going to go about this one. Oh, that's not a full opacity there. That's what we're going to do. We're going to work on the eyes a bit. We're going to add those eyes right there. Big O eyes. But they're not going to stay big O eyes. You see, here's what we're going to do about that sketch. Here's the main design for said sketch. Here's what we're going to add to it afterwards. We're going to do... Then we're going to take this line. We're going to take this angle. We're going to delete that section right there. This entire part goes away now. Boom. Not quite. That's looking a little too woozy. I'm not looking for woozy when it comes to these eyes. I'm looking for absolutely done with your nonsense. That is the expression there. Because if you ever seen them streaming with their friends Bambi and Lil, you know full well they're usually done with most of their nonsense at the end of the day. And that is the expression. Oh, as well as Jira. Are they usually done with Jira's nonsense? You know what? Chances are most of the time, probably, yeah. Yes, Lampy Tax? No Lampy Tax. No. Oh, let's see. That's because we are joined by the coolest Lampy Moth out there, and it deserves attention. No. I do not deserve attention. I barely stream. I only stream like what? 3 days a week? It's barely anything. Oh, speaking of which, I do have to work, or yeah, I do have to set up something because I am planning on, how do I put it? I'm actually planning on doing more streams as of recently. Mostly because one, I had the time for it, and two, I've been talking about a couple of things that I've been needing to work on for quite a while, and I don't have enough time in the week if I only do so 3 streams a day. Or 3 streams a week. So I'm gonna have to start streaming at least one more day. I'm gonna try. I can't guarantee that this is gonna happen, but I'm gonna try at least one more day on top of everything else. You know what? No, we're just gonna leave it like that. That should be fun. More Lampy streams? Indeed, because there's 2 games that I want to play. Elden Ring and Rising Revengeance. I've been talking about Rising Revengeance for years, and I know that if I just don't put the initiative in, I'm never going to play Rising Revengeance. I'm just going to constantly talk about it, and nah, we finally have to get this done. I've been talking about it for way too long. So I'm actually going to have to schedule things later down the road, which is wild to think about. But yeah, it's finally time to schedule things. Hold on a minute, why? Shoom, why? Hype train's over, Shoom. Shoom, it's over. Shoom, it's over, why? Okay, I go by again. What? Hold on a minute. What you... Wait, you can't just... Literally just shows up, drops gifts, leaves. Okay. Alright. Okay. I see you. I see you there, Shom. Alright. Okay. You know what? You know what? Understandable. But in the meantime, you're also getting a shout out. You're not getting away either. Thank you for gifting 5 subs. I greatly appreciate that. You're not safe though. Take this. We're gonna give a shout out to Shom. They play good variety games, really awesome streams. When they show, or yeah, when they stream, go check them out. Really awesome people. I heard tax. No tax. There is no Lampy Moth tax. Who told you that? That doesn't exist. Also, thank you for continuing the sub. Yeah, paying forward the gifts they got from Morty to the community. I thank you. I greatly appreciate that. I thank you for the 5 subs. Save your money, and I hope whatever it is that you got to do goes well. Also, the music just died on me. I don't know how long ago that was. We're just going to be doing this. And we're just going to go drop this. Because I got to go hydrate them. Oh, someone already hydrated them. You know what? That's okay. We can still do this. Who's that? Yo, Remy, thank you for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. Let's give a shout out to the Remy. Drive-by sub-string. Yeah, that's wild. One, I'm gonna say how rude, but on the other hand, what a Chad that Shom did that. But let's give a shout out, but along with that, let's give a shout out to Remy Neko. Folks, go check out Remy Neko. They play... That's a raid, or that's an ad. Okay, we're gonna wait for the ads to finish. And then we'll come back and explain everything. Because, yeah, yeah. Whoops. I'm gonna give that one a minute. Just be careful about it. Spider-Man had one more day, and it alienated a lot of his core audience. True. You make a good point. We gotta wait for that one more day. Also, let me double check on some things. As I saw Not Evil, but I think I lost them. Rar indeed. Welcome on in there, Not Evil. Hope things are going well on your end. Go check them out. Really awesome people. Alright, let's see. I'm trying to catch up with some reading right quick. Trying to catch up with all of the stuff. I think we're there. Now that the ads are over, folks, go check out Remy Neko. Really funny streams, really awesome times. How do I put it? There was a conversation about this in their last stream yesterday where they're a very, very cozy stream. But they have a high... How do I put it? It's a very cozy stream. But they have a huge tendency to scream. So, it's a cozy stream with a volume warning. Really awesome streams, really cool stuff. They play a good variety of games. If you're a fan of Hollow Knight, or games like Hollow Knight, or Night Rain, stuff like that, go check out the Remy Neko. I call it Cozy Chaos. Ah, there we go. Cozy Chaos. That's a good word for it. Go check out the Remy. Cozy Chaos streams. Also, always a good time. Also good to see you there, Liz. Let me see. Hate to write and run, but I got to shower, meds, or yeah, shower, meds, and get to bed. Early work in the morning. We did Mio tonight, which is Metroidvania. A lot of fun, beautiful, great music. Ah, sounds good, sounds good. And no worries there, Remy. I completely understand. As I always like to say, streams are fun, but they also take a lot of energy. So if you got to take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about raiding and running, because that's what raids are all about. Not only that, but no stream is an obligation. If you got to do things, if you got to prioritize stuff, you prioritize that stuff. That is more important than any stream in the world, unless it's yours and you are contractually obligated to stream. In which case, don't, or yeah, then in which case, I guess you got to do what you got to do. But if you're like most of us, no stream is an obligation. You take care of what you got to take care of. And I thank you again. I hope you have a good night, a better tomorrow, and a great week. You take care now there, buddy. All right. I know a viewer named Cozy Chaos. Yo, nice. That's actually pretty cool. Cozy Chaos is great. It is great. I know a few places where they have some Cozy Chaos, not to that degree. It's usually just more so like very chill, very down low, like low energy, like chill vibes. And then they say something that just really gets you like questioning what on earth they just said. I know a good places where they're like, actually, I know a good number of places that are like that. Let's see. I love Cozy Chaos, but the chaos is screaming. Oh, but chaos is screaming. No thank. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Who we shooting? It's not so much of who, but when. And when is every time. All the time. Yeah, any chance we get. Why not? Also, I forgot someone redeemed Mothman a while back, and I forgot to do that. We're gonna add Mothman right quick. Let me find the thingy. We gotta add the model. There we go. Mothman. There's no need to feel down. I said Mothman. Lift that man off the ground. I said Mothman. Cause you're in a new town. Thank you for the quack. Cause there's folks to be abducted. Thank you for redeeming Mothman. Which, by the way, folks, you can find this Mothman model available on the Etsy page and the vgen page at a very, very affordable price. It comes with a lot of different features. One, it can open the wings. Two, it comes with 3 versions of Mothman. It's got conventional Mothman, traditional Mothman, whatever this Mothman is, a secondary design of Mothman. And if you can't pick between the 3, why pick? Be not afraid. And like I mentioned before, or as you saw earlier, it does have the lean. Yes, the shadow is included with the lean. And you can also even have like fast wing animation, slow wing animation, all that good stuff. So I hope you all enjoy. There we go. That is Drop Mothman right over there. Perfect. Whatever is Demon Wing. Yeah, I've seen the Demon Wing design of Mothman before. That's why I tossed it in there, because I know it exists. I know it is there. Let's see. Let me try to catch up some reading. I'm almost there. Oh, there was a question? Wait, what question was that, and where, how back far it was? Oh, let's see. So question, I heard you say you were a football-sized moth. Is there actually a moth that's the size of a football? Nah, no moth is that big. Not in real life. No bug, or most bugs usually don't get to that size, mostly because then it becomes an issue of weight. One thing I've learned is that, yeah, one thing that I've heard from, one thing that I've learned based off of bugs and physics is that the reason why bugs are able to move around as easily as they can is because they're usually very, very small and very, very... Actually, you know what? I take it back. If you think about it, the closest thing we have to football-sized bugs are crustaceans. And somehow, some way, they can climb. Have you seen a coconut crab? We've talked about that one a long, long time ago. But coconut crabs, that's the closest you're getting to... Or crustaceans, those are the closest you're getting to massive insects that can actually move somehow. because I meant, or what I was going to mention earlier was that somehow, or the reason why most bugs usually don't get that big is because their legs won't be able to support them. Even, like, most bugs can't support their size if you think about the ratios, because they have those long, thin legs, and they have some really big bodies, but the thing is, they're also really, really small and very, very light. So if they actually did grow to a massive size, that size versus the ratio of their legs would not be able to support them anymore. They would just drop. But then again, we also have isopods, then we have crustaceans and isopods, and then all that sudden that goes out the window, so I don't know anymore. Life is weird like that. That's the best way to go about it. I have enough screaming in my house right now, but I will check them out. I will say definitely do so, because even the screaming, I think it turns out very, very funny. It's not so much, how do I put it? It's part of the charm. That's the best way to go about it. Nope, no crabs? That's fair, no crabs. Let's eat. Whatever, okay, so I saw that part. All right, we're almost caught up with everything. It's because our atmosphere isn't rich with oxygen as it was in the ancient times, so they don't get as big. Oh, fair. Oh, I didn't know that part. Have you seen giant isopods? They are the size of a baby. True, I forgot about those ones too. So yeah, there are some big bugs out there, but they're mostly crustaceans. I don't know how crustaceans work. Crustaceans are like magnets. Functionally, based off of everything that I've heard, it shouldn't work. But then they exist, and that throws all the logic out the door. Largest IRL moth is big enough you could imagine wrapping a football in its wing. Oh yeah, true. But that's just the wings. Also, Ro, welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. I'm never gonna get any drawing done. Let's eat some crab, or eat them crabs. Yeah, go eat them crabs. Also, let's give a shout out to the Rodoogie. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend that you do. Really awesome streams, really cool people. We're actually going to be working on a project for them. I can't say what it is, but it should be done by the end of this coming week. So look forward to that. It's going to be really, really cool. And everybody stopping by from Rodoogie stream. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-sized moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes a live 2D rigging streams. And today is one of those drawing streams. We're currently working on the emote. I hope you all enjoy your day. I hope you all enjoy your stay. And if you gotta take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about writing a run, because that's the right they're all about. If that's correct, stick around. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your stay. Wait, you draw? I know, right? But yeah, how was the Iron Lung? Wait, it's a game as well? I thought it was just a movie. Alright, so now that we got the sketching done, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to reduce the opacity on everything. Actually, let's take that. Let's take this. Now that we got the entire image, merge everything down, reduce the opacity one more time, and now it's finally time to work on the actual line art. But when working on this line art, actually, not yet. We actually need to take this image and bring it down just a little bit more. Maybe move it out a little bit more to the side. Like so. Right here should be good. Let's bring this. Yeah, this should be the proper size for it. Now, the reason why we had to shrink it, or yeah, you know, like readjust the shape of the emote a bit, is because of one specific thing. We need space for the line art. Now, you may be looking at these lines and thinking, okay, so yeah, so that's a decent shape for the lines, right? Not quite. We have to make thicker lines for the outside of the shape, and I'll show you why soon enough. Yeah, excited? All right, have a good stream. All right there, Ro. You go take care of what you gotta take care of, and I hope you have a good day, a good night, a better tomorrow, and a great week. And I thank you again for the raid. You take care now there, buddy. Now, let's make a new layer. Actually, hold on a minute. Let me go back to the size, you know, the shape that we made here. We can actually just shrink this down just a little bit, move it a little bit closer to the center. Right there should be good. Now we make the new layer, and we're going to call this line, like so. And here's what we got to do next. We got to get our brush, and we got to make this brush a really big brush. We're going to go with 50% opacity. We're going to go with, or not 50% opacity. The brush is going to be 100% opacity. It's going to be 100% sharpness, so this is going to be a crisp edge on the brushing as well. But we're going to go with a 50 radius on our brush, so it's going to be very, very big. It's going to have a large... It's going to be a big brush, or a big outline. That's the one we're looking for. We're looking for a big outline. Also, Kelberry, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. So, now the reason, actually, not even 50. Let's go with 70 for the brush itself. Because, like I said, we need a very, very big outline. Now, the reason why we need that big outline is because, again, this emote, well, for one, it's an emote, and emotes are usually very, very small, so we want to make sure that that is visible when it's very, very small. I'm going to show you 2 examples of this right now. We got one hair strand on one end, and we're going to be making this line over here on the other end. Very, very thin line, very, very nice, very, very, yeah, very nice, very clean. In comparison to this one, very blocky. Now, you might be thinking, okay, nice, crisp, clean line right there. That looks really, really good. That's not to say that this one ain't clean. It's just that this one looks a little more organized in comparison. But I bring this all the way down, all the way to emote size. Oh, too far. There we go, emote size. Which one of the 2 do you actually see? I think I've made my case. Based off of the 2 emote, or yeah, based off the size of the emote, which is the main thing I always mention, that when you're making an emote, you got to make sure that you know what size, or yeah, you want to make sure that when you make the details on your emote, that you exaggerate certain points, because you want certain feature, or based off of the emote you're trying to make, you want to get the message across. What message are we trying to get across here? Someone is holding a gun. So, the main 2 that we need to focus on is, 1, showing that there's a person here, so we need a face. And the second thing that we need is the gun. We need to make sure that that is visible. I might even make the gun barrel bigger. Possibly, depending on the situation. But, yeah. Because of that situation, this line will be practically lost in the process. So, how do we fix that? By going for a much, much larger image. Like so. Or by going for a much thicker line to go across. To better, yeah, to be better visualized. I hope that made some semblance of sense. Am I the only one distracted by the small earring than the big earring? Possibly. But we only make the very, very thick outlines on the outside of the image. I'll show you what I mean once we get to that point. There are certain points where you're going to want them to be a little bit smaller. You're still going to exaggerate them a bit. You want certain lines to be a little smaller so it doesn't get too cluttered. There we go. Oh, right. I said I was going to make the gun a little bit bigger. I was also going to try to make it a little bit cleaner. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to increase the size of the gun a little bit. Actually, no. I take it back. New plan. New layer. Because we're going to make a circle. Now, there's 2 ways we could go about making this circle. But if you don't have the elliptical tool, wait, is it called elliptical? Yeah, if you don't have the elliptical marquee tool, which basically just makes a perfect circle. Hold on a minute. What buttons am I supposed... Ah, here we go. Holding the shift and the alt key, you can make a perfect circle like that. You can work with it that way. But if you don't have that, I'm going to show you another trick how we can make a perfect circle without any of those fancy tools. We just have our brush. Here's how we go about that. We take our big circle, like so. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. That should be good. Oh, wait. No. We gotta consider the outline. So, circle. One big circle. Let's also move this over a bit. Oh, right. Wrong layer. Back over here. Big circle. Probably closer to the edge on this side, just so we get a better image of that. Boom. Big circle. Now, with that big circle, we get our eraser. We make sure that the eraser is just a bit smaller than the circle itself. And then boom, we add that shape. Now we got our circle. Or now we got our outline. Also, normally I would just put that circle dead in the center, like so, to make sure that it's a perfect outline. But considering how the shotgun is going to work, the inside of the circle, we do not want that to be as thick as the outside of the circle. So we're actually going to move it a little bit closer to the right side before we continue from there. Also, welcome on in there, Phoenix. Hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Maybe a little bit lower. Right here should be good. Boom. There we go. Now, we got another circle. Or, we go back to our brush. We click right there. Oh, right. We need to bring this up again, because I forgot we shrunk this down by 1. Put that circle right there. Get our eraser one more time. Right there should be good. Also, if you're looking at all these shapes, there's also one other thing we need to... Oh, right. Before I continue from there, I forgot. There's one more thing we need to do. We need to add the circle for the barrel itself. So, get your mouse clicker. Click there. Another mouse clicker. Click there. Boom. We got the front of the barrel with none of those fancy features. We only had our eraser tool and our brush tool. And that's it. That's all. Gun. Thank you for redeeming gun. Hold on a minute. Thank you for redeeming gun. Thank you for the stretch. Thank you for the posture check and all that good stuff. Also, save. Good idea. Whoops. I don't know when the last time I saved was, so that's actually a pretty good idea. We're going to call this one... We'll just call this Mooney. There we go. Perfect. That's going to be our emote. Yeah, that's going to be the name for the emote. But yeah, I hope you're having a good weekend. Got to head out, but hope you have a good rest of the stream, everyone. Have a good week. All right there, Alito. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. You go get that rest. You go take care of what you got to take care of. I hope it goes well, and I hope you have a good night, a good day, a better tomorrow, and a great week. Before you go, like this. All right. You take care now there, friend. So, now that we got this circle, well, actually, let's make this circle a little bit larger. Right, I forgot. That's why we can't really do that side. Oh, wait, actually, no, I take it back. We don't have to do that. All we gotta do is just make the line for the barrel itself. Like so. Boom. Now for this side of the barrel. Okay, so this is the part that I mentioned earlier where we have to reduce the... We're not going to make the lines as big as before. This is actually going to be the part where we actually reduce the line. We bring them down a little bit smaller. But we still keep a thick line across everything so we could see them in the distance. But for the most part, this section won't be as thick as the outline on the outside, because if we did, then it would be very, very cluttered and very, very, messy afterward. You wouldn't be able to really see the details of the actual model at the end of the day. So This is why we reduced the lines, or reduce the size of the lines that are on the inside of the image rather than the ones on the outside. On the ones on the outside, we make sure that those ones are very, very thick and make sure that they are visible. That's the best way for me to put it. Also, it's Mia Doe. Is that how you pronounce it? You let me know. Thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're lamping now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Also, I apologize. I was caught up in explaining the emote process over here. I hope things be good. I hope things be well. All right, let me see. The circles look like googly eyes for now, but they'll start to look more like barrels later. Oh my god. I apparently came from Radugi's raid, was lurking. Your art is looking so cute so far. Yo, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. If you think it looks good now, just wait till we're finished. I'm gonna try to finish this one at the end of the night. It's gonna take me a minute, but we're gonna get there slowly but surely. Oh yeah, I hope you enjoy the stream in the meantime. Yo, Tony Hawk. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Or do you prefer if I call you Tony? It's been a while. It has been a while. I hope things are good. Oh, Meadow. Oh, it's Meadow. Gotcha, gotcha. I did not consider that name. Okay, that's actually pretty clever. Forest clearing meadow. Ah, gotcha, 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 gotcha. Understandable. I just saw... Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I see E and A next to each other, it just gives the E sound. So I assumed there was an E to it. I apologize, and thank you for the clarification. I greatly appreciate that. Yo, Booga, welcome on in. How you be? Hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Let's give a shout out to the Rabugaki. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend that you do. They also do amazing streams. They do a lot of amazing art. They're currently working on live 2D stuff. Also, if you haven't seen it before, go check them out. They showcase the model art, or the new model design for their live 2D model. They're currently working on it. Go check them out. And overall, just check them out because it's very chill times, very funny streams, really great people. Let's see. So Miyado isn't wrong. Ah, see, that's why I assumed it was something like that, but now I know it's Meadow. Today has been good. I was relaxing. Nice, nice, nice. Glad to hear. Yeah, I'm glad to hear. It's always good to hear when folks are, chilling, because, yeah, life can be a struggle sometimes. Life can be a tricky one. When it comes to overworking yourself, always remember, don't overwork yourself. Granted, make sure that you can work, but don't overwork yourself. Which is rich coming from me, because I overdo it sometimes. I overdo work a lot. Don't be like Lampy. That's the best way for me to put it. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. And no thank you for something by. I greatly appreciate it. Stretch. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the stretch. Never overexert yourself? Exactly. Which I need to take those words into consideration as well. Because sometimes I overdo it. And then my brain fries. And then I just stop altogether. Oh, right. This is where the hand is going to be. This is the hand holding the gun. Something along like that. And then we got this other hand. There we go, right there. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so if the head is right here, that means you would have to add the, if this is the outside of the body, that would be the bigger outline, right? Not quite, because the hair is right there. So the hair would have the bigger outline amongst everything else. So at this point, we just work with smaller lines now. We're not going to work with absolutely tiny lines, but we work with smaller lines. Because we don't need to go through all of that no more. Or we don't need to go through the big outlines no more. We got all of that caught up with. So now we're just setting up the line art and all of that good stuff. We're also going to be showing another feature that I like to bring up when it comes to emotes. Although, I will say this. If you are ever working on emotes, or if you've never worked on an emote before, but you always wanted to work on an emote, I would say the best way to start off with working on emotes, the best way to figure out how to make an emote is by doing this. We're actually going to be making an entirely new file just for this one specific thing. If you ever wanted to figure out what's a good way to figure out how to work with emotes, make an entirely new file. Make it exactly 72 pixels. Because if you make it exactly 72 pixels, then you're going to have a really, really tiny image. And you're probably thinking, wait, why would I want a very, very tiny image? Well, to help you practice with this. Because if your image is very, very tiny, and that means whatever brush you have, as you can see right there, it's going to be even your smallest brush, which is under 10 pixel radius, going to come out rather large. And so if you decide that you wanted to make a face on it, you got to consider your space. Perfect example, most of the time, most of my images, they are usually like around, or whenever I try drawing, I usually go with 20 pixel radius. As you can see, 20 pixels is a lot. And since it's very, very small of an image, it forces you to work with your limitations. And if you can work with those limitations, then you'll know exactly what you need to do with emotes in general. And always remember, once you're done with working on those emotes, always just do something simple like this, which is shrink it down to its smallest. Yeah, shrink it down to the smallest size and see if you could actually see what on earth it is. Right now, obviously, it's just a circle. But if we wanted to take that into consideration for our current emote and we shrink this down, can we see the gum? Personally, I can't quite see the gum. So I feel like this one is one of those things where we need to fix it up a little bit. The barrels are too small. So we need to fix those barrels. So let's do exactly that. And make some larger gun barrels so we know that that's what it is off in the distance instead of them just holding a big stick. So let's fix that up right now. Make bigger gun. There we go. Also, let me see. Shrimping real hard? Indeed. Don't be shrimping. Which is easier said than done. I know I'd be shrimping all the time. Alright, speaking of overworking, fair. Let's see. Girl Lampy 2, when it... Oh, yeah. Girl Lampy 2, when it's fun and for profit, it's hard to stop. True. Also very, very true. The line art is so satisfying. Yo, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, yeah. Working on line art? Okay, I will say this. When it comes to working on line art, that is also one of the... Okay, for some people, they may not like it. They may not be a fan of line art, and that's completely understandable. For me, yeah, sometimes it could be a pain, but sometimes it could be one of the most carefree moments because you don't have to think. You just have to do. For the most part, you just do. There is no thinking. And I feel like that's one of the more comfortable moments. Also, hold on a minute. Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable just not thinking, just do. And that's why I like working on line art sometimes. I know some people say it takes up too much time. But you know what? That's also honestly fair, but I like the organization of the line arts as well. I like organizing with them line arts. Makes it a little bit easier to know what I'm working on, to see what I'm looking at. And trying to figure things out along that way. All that good stuff. So circles, on the other hand, are the bane of many people's existence. As you can see right now, the circles ain't circling. Ain't circling just right. Now, I also mentioned how we could fix that, and you know what? Maybe I should do it that way. Let's get rid of all of that. Let's get that circle. We're gonna get our mouse clicker for this one again. We're just gonna try to fix this circle up just right. Let's also get the eraser again and remove this section, as these parts may be getting in the way a bit. I'm gonna get rid of all of that. Get this secondary circle. Boom, put that right there. Get the eraser next. And then get our circle one more time. Boom, and then put the googly eyes. 1 and 2. Now we're all set. Now, let's go to the next step. But before we go there, let's catch up with the reading right quick. Alright, let's see. I did emote pixel... Oh, I did emotes. Pixel... Alright, I did emote pixels at the ANVA size. What on earth is the ANVA? And I was using them back in AOL, instant messaging. Oh, fair. Also, I just realized one thing here in particular. We got to take this whole circle. Or we got to take the googly eyes right quick. Because I just right now realized we got to rotate these suckers just a little. Nope. I didn't get the whole image. Hold on a minute. Snag. Get the lasso tool, hold the shift. Select all of that, rotate this sucker a bit. We'll put it more so on the edge here so we don't mess up the edge of the actual barrel. There we go, something like that. Okay, there we go. Now that we got that shape. Let's erase some of these lines that are kind of getting in the way. We're just going to redraw the gun after we clean up the edges here. There we go, like so. All right, let's see. Oh, typo, canvas. Oh, at the canvas size. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, pixel art also works well for emotes as well. I agree with that. AOL? Yeah, I haven't heard AOL in ages. That's... Yeah, everybody blame... For those of you that are feeling your age, blame Spock. Spock mentioned AOL. This is all Spock's fault. Love the advice, Lampy. Emotes are way harder than they look. I agree. Wholeheartedly agree on that one. That's why... when I work on this emote, I'm going to be explaining the entire process from start to finish, because we are going to finish this in one day. It's going to take me a good while to get through all the process, but I'm going to try to explain it as I go along. Because, well, I don't know, I just like always explaining this stuff. I always feel like, you know, if I'm going to be working on this, I want to make sure that, one, this is hopefully going to be able to help somebody in the future, and two, if anybody's, you know, watching this, I hope they're not lost. Because, you know, I would like everyone to be on the same page if possible. Well, not so much I would like... How do I put it? I wouldn't want someone to be lost throughout the entire process. That's the word I'm looking for. I wouldn't want someone to just be watching this like, all right, this is cool and all. I have no idea what you're doing. Like, I wish I knew what you were doing, but since I don't know what you're doing, I don't know where to go with all of this. So that's why I also try to explain things, because it's like, I know that feeling of just watching something and having no clue on what on earth is going on because nothing's being explained. And so I would like to explain my process along the way. Plus, it gives me something to talk about, because I'm going to be honest, if I talked about my day, it would go real quick. Real quick. Like, hey, Lampy, how's your day been? I've been working nonstop. That's it. Oh, wait, no, I take it back. I've also been playing a lot of Night Rain. Yeah, that's about it. Actually, no, that's not entirely true. I've mentioned it earlier that I was working on the comic. I've been trying to come up with how I want the comic to go down before I set up the mech fight, because like I said, I gotta set up some story beats before we get back into the mech fight. Which is funny to think about, because none of this was ever intended originally, and then all of a sudden, like, you know what? I just realized what I should do. Hold on a minute. It'd make for a more interesting story in a way. Obviously, we're still gonna have some dumb stuff over there, like the ice cream truck heists. But I don't know, a little more stakes and something a little more believable when it comes to the fight, because you know, there's a lot to it. It'll all make sense later, hopefully. If it doesn't, then a bit more than I could chew. That's fair. Now let's make this gun. Now let's add that line art or line for the ear. Also, as I was mentioning earlier, this is why we made the gun a lot bigger, because if we zoom out, you could still see that there's a gun. You can still see the barrel. That's what I wanted at the end of the day, because, as I mentioned before, if you're making an emote, you want to make sure that people can see what on earth it is off the bat. And how can you make people see what it is off the bat? By just purely, like, looking at the image, despite how tiny it is? By finding the exact features that you want. Yeah, find the exact features that you're looking for in said image and blow them up. With napalm, I mean, you know, just increase the size of the actual image. Yeah, that's what I meant. Anyway, so yeah, you want to increase the size of those features. Like if your model, yeah, if the emote is about the expression on the model or the expression on the figure, then you want to increase the face. Or yeah, you want to make the face a lot larger than most other things on the image, because you want that part to be noticeable more than anything else. If it's whatever they're holding, then you want to exaggerate that one to a ridiculous degree, to where people can actually see it off in the distance. If it's an action, then you want all those features, or yeah, if it's an action as well as something they're holding, then you want to make sure that those features are greatly exaggerated to the point where you could see them off in the distance no matter what. And if something isn't as important to the, or yeah, if there's something that isn't as important to the overall message, you know what? That's the best way to put it. Remember, your emotes are also a message. What is the message you're trying to send with said emote? If there are certain things that don't contribute to the message as much, then you could leave those ones behind. Or not so much leave them behind, but not focus on them as much. For example, the earring that I'm working on, I shouldn't be focusing on it as much as I am, but I am. I will let you know that I am doing something that, yeah, I'm not quite, what's the word I'm looking for? One, I'm not perfect at this, and I know when I'm making mistakes that are conventionally should not be there. Like exaggerating the earring so you could see that the earring is there. Because that detail is technically irrelevant to the overall message of the emote, which is gun. But we're adding it anyway. We are adding the emote anyway. Even though it's not necessary, we're adding it. There we go. All Spock's fault. Got it. Exactly. All right. I gotta head off to bed. All right there, Liz. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. You go get that rest. You go get that sleep. And I hope you have a good night. Prepare tomorrow. And a great week. You take care now there, buddy. It's so nice to just be doodling over sketch with line art. Yeah, exactly. Which is also another thing I mentioned earlier, or last time in my previous stream, when I was working on line art, or yeah, when I was working on the line art for the Boxing Revenant. Sometimes you don't even need, or yeah, sometimes the other nice part about working on an emote, or not working on an emote, working on line art is that the sketch that you made is a guideline. Not something that needs to be followed, but something that can be followed. Case in point right here. If you look at the, yeah, well, one, let's merge these lines together. If you hide the line art, you will see that the hair is a little bit smaller. The guns are a little bit smaller. All of those features are there. Obviously, there's a lot of sketching stuff on all sorts of spots. When we put the sketch, or yeah, when we put the actual line art, you'll notice hair got bigger, gun got bigger, all of that, because we know what we wanted. We got the design in hand, we got the idea in mind, and now that we got the idea in mind, we could actually clean it up. Not think as much, but you know, just go along with the flow. Also, we're going to clean up the hair bangs a bit, just so they're more visible, because I feel like the lines that we got right now, they're kind of getting them lost in the distance. So we're going to be cleaning up those lines just a little bit more, removing a lot of that. There we go. In comparison to where it originally was, I'm going to show you. This is what we had before. This is what we have now. Hold on a minute. Yeah, this was the, or yeah, this is what we had before the erasing. This is what we have now. Less, yeah, less visible, more visible. Less space, more space. So we're going to be able to put all the pinks and the purples. There we go. All right, let me see. Let me try to catch up some things. It's easy for it to be, oh yeah, it's easy for it to be my fault. I've been doing things online for nearly 30 years now. That is wild. I've only been doing things for 20. That's crazy. Bruh, don't say that. I'm in my 30s. Wait till you get to older times. I'm here to ask a question. Welcome on in there, Beans Ziggy. Or Beans Giggity. What's your question? Brace and I tried to take on Everdark Drago and got clapped. You know what? I don't blame you. That Everdark is a pain. I also saw that you were playing, and I was like, why did I not see that till now? Dang. That's an unfortunate circumstance. I may happen to know them. Why? What's up? What's up there, Beans? Let's see. Also, yeah, perfect example right there with destroyers. Like that emote right there. What's the major focus? Giant gun. That's a major focus right there. Also, thank you for the stretch. There were you. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Brave was like, we could tap Lampy in, and I was like, he's streaming. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Is Bray still awake? Because if so, I'm willing to start another stream after this emote is done and try to jump into the, you know, make another, after this emote is done, I might be willing to start a new stream and play some Night Rain. Let's see. New to their stream. Do they always stream as late as she does? Oh yeah. How do I put it? They. Oof. I will say that. I think it's okay to say. Yeah. The question about, or yeah, the question you were asking about Mothman. Yeah, they stream practically all night most of the time. They do some very, very long streams. Really, really awesome stuff. Really cool streams. But yeah, they stream. I commend them for this because I've seen them streaming like almost non-stop for hours on end, days after days, and I'm like, holy cow, where are you getting all that energy? And can I have some? So yeah, in case you're wondering, yeah, they stream pretty late. And that's usually their regular times. Bones cracking, making me feel old. Indeed. I think we're all feeling old out here. Also, welcome on in there, Aura. Yeah, B, I hope things are going well. Okay, I thought so. Thanks. I could never make... Or, yeah. I make music. Also fair and reasonable. Yo, nice. What kind of music do you make, if you don't mind me asking? Let's see. Don't ask how I know. A lot of Stranger Things are dressing for the setting of the 1980s was wrong. I completely understand where you're coming from, Aura. I know, I don't know how you know, but I know why you know, or I know what you mean. I'm not gonna ask, but I understand. I understand why the sets have the inaccuracies, or how you know that the sets have the inaccuracies. I understand completely. So how's that retirement fund? Because mine is going pretty bad. Okay. I make stuff like Boy with the Ukulele, or I'm assuming, yeah, Boy with the Ukulele, but with more bass, and I sound exactly like Corpse. So imagine if you know who Corpse is. Corpse. Okay. If I'm correct, that was the person called Corpse Husband back in the day, right? I think? Maybe? Corpse Husband. Oh, so it was them. Okay, if you sound like that, run. Run. Because I heard what happened there. Oh god, that one sounds like that story sounds so stressful. Run for your life. Why? Wait, did you not know what happened to them? Like all the stress related issues, or all the health related issues they had due to their stress from people. Okay, so here's a quick rundown on it. No? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the quick rundown on it. He did a lot of YouTube videos. He also did a lot of streaming, but because of his voice, people really liked him. But they also wanted to see his face. And they were waiting for the day. But because of how his voice sounded, and because of how he was worried about... I don't even know if it was so much about how he was worried about it, but more so... Well, actually, yeah. He went through a lot of stress because of... Based off of his voice, worrying about how people were going to treat him if they actually saw what he looked like, and if his voice did not match his face. Or, you know, if his voice didn't match his appearance, then that started adding some more stress to him, and then, you know... He eventually started hiding away, and after hiding away, he started to, yeah, what Quee put, all of that. People started harassing him. Yeah, exactly. They started harassing him because of his voice and because they couldn't see his face. To the point where he started getting, you know, he started trying to hide away from people, and he started getting health issues, and then he just kind of fell off the face of the earth for understandable reasons. So that's why I'm like, oh, you sound like him? Run. Or, if anything, well, watch it. Or actually, you know what? I take it back. I would say look into his story. And see what you can do to not fall into the same pitfall, if the occasion ever arises. Go watch him so you don't fall into the same pitfall. That's the best way to go about it. Let's see, 6'6", pale as frick, and I don't show my face, so you're saying I'm friggity frick. I would say go look at his story to see what you can do to change things. Like, see what you can learn from the... Okay, go look at Corpse Husband's... Yeah, go look at the history of Corpse Husband and consider it as a cautionary tale to see what you can do. if you happen to run into that occasion or situation. There you go. That's the best way to go about it. That's the best I could really say is, yeah, go look into that. I would highly recommend looking into that. Specifically you. Because last thing, I doubt anyone would want you to go down the same road as him. Because, granted, he was big and he was famous and he was making a lot of money, but it's everything else that was on top of that yeah, no. Pretty much no. Alright, let's see. Basically got bullied and stalked really bad because people wanted a face reveal instead of being respected. Yes, exactly. Which is funny because that was still happening during the time that, you know, VTubers were booming. Alright, let's see. He was a chill guy. I'm glad to hear it. And I hope this advice helps in some way, shape, or form. Alright. Now, what on earth was I doing? Oh, right. We were trying to clean up the rest of this line art. And then we go to the easier section, because the next step is going to be real simple, real easy. Well, first, let's make the shape of the eyes. But here's what we're going to do for the eyes. We're just going to make a big old oval. So let's get our brush 80% on the circle. Really big circle like so. And right now, it's going to look like they have, or, you know, they're going to look very bubbly, very energy, very hopeful. And then we're going to take all that hope away by just cutting off the top half of the eye. And boom, all that hope is gone. See, very hopeful, very energetic, you know, the world is their oyster, all of that good stuff. And then when we take our eraser and just drag it all the way across, all of their hopes or dreams and crushed with a single eraser. Let's see. Wait, I'm probably gonna get bullied because people will either think I am him or trying to be him. Unfortunately, okay, I will tell you this. I will tell you this there, Bean. I will tell you this much there. Don't sweat that stuff. I will say, don't sweat that stuff as much. Sure, people are going to say, oh yeah, he's just another, he's this clone, or he's that, or he's copying this person. Don't sweat it. Pay no attention to it. Know why? Those people aren't your fans. Those people aren't there to watch you for you. Those people probably wouldn't even watch you. That's one way to go about it. That's one way to think about it. A lot of this is actually for a lot of things too. A lot of people that usually criticize other people for other things usually don't watch them anyway. So their opinions and their criticisms usually, I want to say 70% of the time, are usually moot. Like, oh yeah, this person is this and this person is that. Did you ever watch them? No? Oh, then it doesn't really matter. So yeah, don't worry about it too much. If people start calling you that, don't sweat it. Those aren't the people you're trying to cater to anyway. As I always, or yeah, one thing that I've learned in life, especially when watching things on the internet, is this. Actually, not even internet things, just things in general. Video games, movies, streams, everything. Don't worry about catering to people. Yeah, don't worry about catering to everyone. Because when you try to cater to everyone, you appease no one. Be okay with those that are there. There you go. Lol? Lol. Wait, why? What did I do? What did I say? Alright, let me see. And bro, it makes me mad because you're so good at drawing. I'm glad, or, well, maybe? Yeah. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're liking the art over here. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're liking the art. That's the best way, or yeah, that's one way for me to put it. I'm glad to hear that you're liking the art. Hold on a minute. What could I do about that one? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna make that shape again. since I already, well, actually, you know what? If I just go back here, go back to the eraser a little bit. Yeah, go back to this section, take this part, move it over, boom, perfect. And then we just shrink that down a little bit. Move it over a little more. Move it over to the side. Now we don't have to do it this way. We could actually just draw the oval again and then just take the eraser and then scoop. And then we're all good. But for the sake of time, it's going to be cleaning up certain sections. There we go. Perfect. Now we got that. Now that we got the eyes all set, we're nearly finished. Or yeah, we can finally move on to the coloring phase. All right, let's see. Also, thank you for the posture check there, Ryu. Thank you for the save there, Spock. Also, Requiem, welcome on in. Now that I'm friends with Kui, you aren't the only one. I always see... Oh, let's see. Now that I'm friends with Kui, you aren't the only one I always see hooking up on that Night Rain stuff. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Kui plays a lot of Night Rain. So yeah, you're able to find a lot more people on the Night Rain game than before. Also, let's give a shout out to Requiem. If you haven't checked out the Unholy Requiem, I highly recommend that you do. They play a good variety of games, really awesome streams. If you were a fan of Souls-like games like Elden Ring, Code Vein, what's that one about Kazan, stuff like that, I highly recommend checking out Requiem. Also, they make their own 3D models. They also take 3D model commissions. So go check them out. I highly recommend that you do. I hope things are going well on your end there, buddy. Happy Made is still overpriced than intended. Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I gotta switch that up. Thank you for reminding me. My fan base is very lovely, and I always try to be kind to everyone, sometimes just to piss them off. See, there you go. Also, best way to go about it, I would say, don't even sweat it. Like, again, even if you have people that are criticizing you, don't even sweat it. Don't worry about it. Unless it's your actual fan base that's criticizing you, then maybe it's time to take words into consideration. But if they ain't part of your fan base and they're just people on the internet just yelling for the sake of yelling, don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Because again, those that are willing, or yeah, those that find interest in watching you, those that take an interest in watching you, those are the people you're trying to, those are the people that, their opinions are the ones that you want to actually take into consideration. Emphasis on take into consideration, or emphasis on the words consideration. Because nobody's perfect, not everybody's right, so you want to take their words, but it may not always be the correct way to go about it. It all depends on the situation, but that's why communication and all that is what it's all about. Things kind of mad, but hanging in there. How you doing, Lampy? Ah, sorry to hear that there, Requiem. I hope things get better. I hope things get easier. I hope that one thing that, how do I put it? I hope the one thing that you were working on trying to get fixed goes well. As for me, I'm doing all right. I'm dealing with a lot of paperwork stuff in the background. But outside of that, we're dealing with a lot of paperwork stuff, and I gotta deal with a lot of the, what's the word I'm looking for? I gotta deal with a lot of the jury duty nonsense, which I really don't like, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So outside of that, it's been going pretty well. I'm nearly caught up. Well, not caught up. Funny enough, all my commissions are almost full again, so we got a lot of work to do. And I'm trying to find a schedule to play Rising Revengeance this month, because I want to play Rising Revengeance this month. So there's a lot going on. There's the comic, there's the commissions, there's the jury duty, there's Rising Revengeance, and there's Elden Ring. So I got to get all of that figured out within this month. Jury duty, what happened? Okay, so don't worry, nothing stressful. Like, okay, how do I put jury duty? Okay, so Requiem. Jury duty doesn't sound as bad as you think it is, but it's still pretty bad. Jury duty doesn't mean I'm in trouble. It's just more so that I have to be in a pool, or yeah, I and a bunch of people have to wait in a room to see if we get called for a court case for somebody else. We have to be there to listen to the lawyers. If we get called in, we have to be there to listen to the lawyers, hear the case, and amongst yourself and many other people that are in that jury, you have to assess the situation and, you know, answer, do we find this person guilty? Do we find this person not guilty? All of that stuff. But let's be honest, the lawyers kind of mess around, tinker around with a lot of those things to the point where sometimes whatever your opinion is doesn't really matter because they did a lot of work in the back of the scenes. So yeah, it all depends sometimes. So yeah, jury duty, it's not one of those things where it's bad. It's just really, really inconvenient. So I'm like, I don't want to go to jury. I don't want to go to court. I just want to draw all day. Ugh. Eh. So yeah, that's jury duty. It's not bad. It's just sucks. He almost caught stealing ice cream. No. Almost got caught stealing an ice cream truck. By the way, Twitch, this is a joke. I did not do any Grand Theft Auto. I need to clarify that one because, you know, Twitch is kind of like, you know how Twitch is. Sometimes you want to make a joke, and all of a sudden they take it seriously. So, for safety and security reasons, that ice cream truck theft is a joke. We did not actually commit Grand Theft Auto. That requires me to go outside. All right, let's see. Oh, you're unrelated, huh? Yeah, exactly. So they just call you at random to participate. Yes. They call you at random to participate. And you may not even actually participate in said jury. So you might actually just sit there for hours on end for no reason at all whatsoever. That's why jury duty sucks. Because when they call you, you're like, fine. Let me just go waste 8 hours of my life. Maybe even more than that. Yeah, periodically call a group of people to judge others in a court of law. The U.S. legal system is weird. Yes, exactly. I mean, it would make more sense. Okay, we're not going to get into that because that's borderline politics. But I would say, yeah, it's weird. I was about to just go off the deep end and I realized, wait, nope. I got to follow my own rules. I'm going to stop right there. It's to ensure that people are judged by an unbiased group. Also true. Also fair. Now I'm 20. I never had jury duty. You're old. Like you wouldn't believe, buddy. Like you wouldn't believe. And you think that's you'd think that's some light teasing right there. But if you've been here long enough, you know full well I talk about all the olden days. I've talked about that show, Mummies Alive. If you've heard of Mummies Alive, I hate to break it to you, you're old. If you've heard of the show Ghost Writer, not Ghost Rider, no, this was a ghost that helped solve mysteries. If you know that ghost story, I hate to break it to you, you're old. If you ever heard of Superhuman Samurai, well, you're old and a big fat nerd. The list goes on. Oh, you know what? If you saw the Iron Man cartoon before Iron Man was... Yeah, if you saw the Iron Man cartoon back in the day when Iron Man was a B-list superhero... Yeah, again, hate to break it to you, but might want to see how your grandkids are doing. I haven't called them in a while. And yeah, I could go on and on and on about all of this. You better believe I can go on and on and on about all of this, and you'll never hear the end of it. All right, let's see. Now we try to catch up some things. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, exactly. It is kind of, or not even kind of annoying. It's really annoying because the moment you see it, it's like, how do I put it? Again, you're not in trouble with it, but when you see the jury summons, you hate everything in life and you kind of want to find out a way to get out of... I don't know about anyone else, but the moment I see jury duty, I'm like, can I just leave the country? Can I just leave the country for a minute? Come back later? Like, leave the country for a month? Come back a month later till all of this blows over? Maybe. But then they'll probably try to contact me again saying, we haven't seen you in a month. Where'd you go? Here's another summons. Also, here's a fine for a couple $1,000 because you didn't show up to jury duty. Like, I hear Canada's nice-ish, kind of. I hear France is nice. I hear London is nice. I hear Japan is nice. I hear... Okay, fine. I'm going to jury duty. All right, let's see. The one time I was called for jury duty, I got out of it because I didn't live in the country that they called me for. Lucky. I've got called for jury duty like 3 times now. This is technically my 3rd. Had jury duty. Little did they know I was the criminal and they were trying someone else. Nice. Joke. Or am I? That's actually a genius way to go about it there, Aura. Be the actual criminal. Switch places with them. And then just try to convince everyone that the person is innocent. So when the court case is done, when everything's over, everyone goes home, and they don't know the better. They don't know the better. They don't know the wiser. Because if you all agree that the person is guilty, and they find out that they got the wrong person, then they're after you again. But if you try to convince them all that you're innocent, that's it. It's over. It's done. And then everybody wins. The person who got switched doesn't go to jail, and therefore you don't go to jail, and everybody just goes home. And no one has to care anymore about the fact that you blew up a Taco Bell with 16 orphans inside. Why were there orphans inside the Taco Bell? I don't know, you tell me. Actually, don't tell me, because you got off scot-free. See, there you go. Alright. Presley and the Western Gate. See, I'm not that old. I'm old, but I'm not old enough to know what on earth Presley and the Western Gate is. 8 hours? Don't some people waste that every night? Yes, but they waste it on their own time. This is time that they're forced to waste. That's an entirely different story right there. Super mutant biker mice. Oh yeah, super mutant biker mice from Mars. And street sharks. Yeah. See, that one too. I was there for street sharks. I didn't watch Biker Mice from Mars, but I was there for Ninja Turtles. I was also there for TMNT. I was also there for that horrible TMNT movie, but then again, I think we were all there for that horrible TMNT movie by Michael Bay. Oh, you know what? That's another way to go about it. You want to know how old? You know what? Here's the best way to go about it. If you were there for the very first Transformers movie, I hate to break it to you, but the old folks home called. They lost track of you again. You're on a milk carton right now. Made hot cocoa? Nice. What? When we still had candles for lights, was it like being almost smushed by Einstein? Okay, the fact that I have no idea what that entire sentence just meant. I know it was an old sentence thing, but I don't know the smushed by Einstein part. Also, Liz the Goth Moth, welcome on in. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. I hope things are well. I hope things are good. Let's see. The original Wild Wild West live-action series. I did not see the live-action series of Wild West. I know the Will Smith movie. But now that you mentioned the live-action series, that just reminds me of MASH. If you were there for MASH, more importantly, if you were there for the series finale of MASH, hate to break it to you. Actually, no, if you were there for the series of MASH, I have good news for you. Chances are they're probably not going to ask you for taxes anymore because you're over 60. Best of luck with on jury duty. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Here's hoping. Here's hoping it's not too. Here's not hoping it's not too stressful. All right, let's see. I watched the Iron Man cartoon with all the Stan Lee intros. Mr. T cartoon is older. I did not know about the Mr. T cartoon. I know he was on the A-Team, but I didn't know he had his own cartoon. I mean, you get $15 per day. You go to jury duty. $15 per day. Hooray. That is absolutely fantastic. Yay. $15 a day. I'm gonna just throw myself down the stairs. I wish that worked for jury duty. I feel like they'll still tell you to show up anyway. Like, yeah, I can't go to jury duty. My legs are broken. Don't worry, we're wheelchair accessible. Get your sorry butt over here. No, wait. Get your sorry broken butt over here. I mean, my hubby is anyway. Ah, fair. Wait. Wait. What was that now? Wait. Okay, let me see. I mean, you get $15 per day if you go to jury duty. I mean, my hubby is anyway. I think we're talking about the gold part, right? None of those places are nice. True. Exactly. That's why I'm looking at, like, you know what? Let me just leave the country. I can go to... I guess every country is bad. There is no... Like, they all have their problems. Wherever you are, you deal with what you gotta deal with, I suppose. I hear places not having jury duty is nice. Yes, what place has not or does not have jury duty? Yes, answer. They're guilty or they wouldn't be on the trial, right? Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I gotta do. I just gotta sabotage myself to the point where they never want me to show up again, but not to the point where they put me behind bars as well. You saw the Chipmunks and Mr. T in the same cartoon. You saw the first season of the 80s. Oh, I didn't know about that one. They only pay you $15. Yeah, exactly. A day. Not even an hour. If it was $15 an hour, I'd be like, jury duty, say less. All right, what's the next court case? Even then, $15 an hour is... Depending on where you live, it can either be absolutely game-changing, or it could just be like, hey, you know, it's a job. Either one, both would be fine. All right, now, before I continue, I'm gonna get to the coloring side of this next. First, let's hide the sketch. Then, let me find the color scheme that we're looking for here. We're actually going to need to put the image in Photoshop so I can get the color scheme here. Or, you know, the reference sheet. So let's get Mooney's reference sheet, toss it over here so we can get the colors, because we need this color tone and we need the pink. There we go. Now we move on to the next step and we make an entirely new layer. And we get our lasso tool for this, because normally I would say just use the wand select tool, but because of the way the shape is, it's going to have a lot of creases and all of that, so, or it's going to have a lot of open space that shouldn't be there. So in this situation, yeah, just get the lasso tool. It's a lot easier. And now let's just fill in the blanks there. Boom, we got that color scheme for that. We're going to put a transparency lock. And the reason why we put that transparency lock, I'm going to show you. For those of you that are new here, I'm going to show you why we put a transparency lock. If we get our eraser and we just drag across, you will see that it just cut out a section of the image. But if we put the transparency lock means that we cannot remove or add anything to the layer itself. It stays that same layer no matter what we do. If we try to get our brush and we go on the outside, nothing. If we try to get our eraser and drag across, hold on a minute. Let me get that eraser, make sure that it's proper layering. Yeah, proper layers. we get that eraser, and we drag it across, and we'll see that instead of cutting that, it'll actually just put our secondary color image in there, which is pink. So we're going to add that to the hair now. So let's get our lasso tool, and I'm going to catch up the reading once I add the color to the hair. Wait, is that the color, right? Hair color? Yeah, we could roll with that anyway. Here's how we're going to fix all of that anyhow. We're going to start with pink, and then we add the purple on top. Because there is more purple than pink, but in order for this effect to work just right, we're going to add the pink first. Then after I get the lasso tool set up, we're going to catch up with that there reading. Because there is a lot of reading to catch up on. Or at least I'm assuming there's a lot of reading to catch up on. Usually happens a lot. And there we go. And we just add all of that. Boom. That's the starting point. Let me try to catch up with some things. Don't tell the cops, but I've had my days with a little bit of crime. Nothing serious, but we're not gonna read the rest of that because, okay, I will say this. You never want to type any of that stuff. You never want any paper trail at the end of the day. Because if you put a paper trail, well, what do you expect? Someone might be able to catch that, find it, use it, and then boom, you're like, oh, that's what I get for putting any of that info out there. If it ever happens, okay, as crazy as it sounds. This one I've learned from my late mother. May she rest in peace. Never put anything in writing. Unless it's a contract. Unless it's contract and unless it's work, never put anything in writing. If it's anything that you think, you know, never tell any, or yeah, especially if it's one of those things where it's like, hey, don't tell anyone about this, but never put it in writing. Because now it's out there for the world. All right. Why do they pay you more? Wait, they pay you more over, or yeah, they pay you less? If you know courage the cowardly, courage the cowardly dog. Courage. Oh, you thought courage the cowardly dog. Let me roll that one even further back. You ever heard of Rocco's Modern Life? You've heard of Rocco's Modern Life. And let me put it to you this way. You may only have a couple more years before the job lets you go. And gives you a whole party for that. Lampy, I can't stay long, but I guided a big raid towards you. Big raid? Wait, what? Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about that one there, Liz. Don't worry about it. Well, one, thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. You take care of what you gotta take care of. And I hope it goes well. All that good stuff. Turtles in a hard shell turtle power. Yeah, exactly. That stuff. I skipped the Michael Bay movies. That's honestly fair and reasonable, too. I don't blame you for skipping them. I watched the first movie, and then that was it. Yo, Blue Cheesy, thank you for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. What were you up to? What were you doing? I hope it went well. Let's give a shout out to Blue Cheesy. I hope things are good. How is the Magic the Gathering? How is Magic the Gathering? I hope it went, or yeah, I hope it was fun. I hope it was good. And everyone's stopping by. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-sized Moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes a live 2D rigging streams. And today is one of those drawing streams. We're currently working on an emote for a Miss Moonlight. We're working on a gun emote for them. I hope you all enjoy your day. I hope you all enjoy your stay. If you gotta take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about writing a ring, because that's what raids are all about. But if you stick around, I greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your stay. And I hope you had a lot of fun with the stream. I hope you had a lot of fun with, yeah, that, well, words, yeah. Light bright, paint. Oh yeah, the light brights. I forgot all about the light brights. If you were there when light brights were new. Yeah, I'm out of other ways to tell you you're old. Goodbye, my friend. Oh. Let's see. All right, all good there, Beans. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a good night, a better tomorrow, and a great week. If we were talking about how old we are, do people remember Legend of the Hidden Temple? Wait, which one is that? Why does that sound familiar? Also, let me see. Played some Magic the Gathering Arena. Ooh, what's Magic the Gathering? It was great. Also, people have been saying that standard is a really good place. And to be honest, I agree. What's standard? Hey, standard like a game mode? Yeah, I'm assuming that's like a game mode in Magic the Gathering, right? Because I've heard of Commander. I don't know if standard is similar to Commander. Or, you know, like a different game mode to Commander. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about Magic the Gathering. Oh, standard is a format. Oh, so it was what, or yeah, so it was like a different game mode. Ah, understandable. Fair enough, fair enough. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I haven't actually heard a lot of people talking about standard. I always keep hearing about Commander, but how, like, what is standard like? Like, what's the difference between standard and Commander? Let's see. Those darn kids trying so hard to building the shrine of the Silver Monkey. That does sound familiar. Why does that sound familiar? With your guide, Kirk Frog. Kirk Frog. Why does that one sound familiar? Why does that remind me of Bucky O'Hare? And good old Olmec. Wait, which characters are we talking about? Again, still the Shrine of the Silver. Ah, gotcha. Anyone else here know the Disney Channel in the 80s had a kids exercise program in the morning called Mousercise? Okay, honestly, that one sounds very familiar, but I don't know for the life of me. That one sounds like a really, really odd one right there. Like, I've never heard of Mousercise before. Actually, it sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever heard of Mousercise. All right, let's see. Yeah, the game is great. I think most people enjoy Commander, which is more relaxed way to play the game. Standard is a super competitive format. Oh, fair. I don't think I've seen that. Or that may explain why I haven't seen much about that one. Again, I don't know much about Magic the Gathering, but it sounds pretty cool. You know what? Maybe it's finally time to see what Magic the Gathering is all about. Maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking about it now. Maybe it's time to try out a new card game. Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah, exactly, that one. Cartoon Network used to have cartoons like Cow and Chicken and Cat Dog. God, that's taking me back. That is taking me way back. Also, Blue Cheesy, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're Lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Also, they have different deck building rules. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's time to find out what Magic the Gathering is all about, because I know a lot of people that play Magic. I've just never tried it myself. Do it. It's free game, and Magic the Gathering Arena has really nice tutorials built in. Oh, it's a free game, you say, huh? That's all I needed to hear. Free game, it's time. Time to figure out what that game is all about and how to play it. Also, Lampy, Legends of the Temple is old Nick TV show that had kids trying to win a prize. Okay, then yeah, I don't think I saw Legend of the Hidden Temple, mostly because I didn't have cable. And Nickelodeon was one of those cartoons. Yeah, Nickelodeon, I was only able to see Nickelodeon in very rare occasions when I went to Arizona to hang out with to visit family and stuff like that. So I never really got to see a lot of that stuff from back in the day. Or I never got to see a lot of cable stuff. But now that you mentioned that just reminded me of Rugrats, and it just reminded me that Rugrats had a freaking cartoon, or had a freaking movie. I remember that one specifically because I also made sure that, well, not made sure, but I also remember that when, back in the day, I also had that little Reptar Mobile toy, whatever it was called. The one that the dad designed for the kids. Whatever that little Reptar car was, I remember getting that as a toy. Way back in the day. Back when toys were cheap. Okay, they weren't cheap, mostly because I remember that Whenever I tried to get a toy, my mom always told me, yeah, no, that's too expensive. I'm not paying for that. $100 for a toy? No. Which is funny when you think about it, because nowadays you hear people buying toy figures for that kind of money all the time. My oh my, have times have changed. Boy, howdy, have times changed. It's wild times out there. Also, I think I finally understand it now too, because back then I always never understood, like, come on, I don't want this toy, why can't I have it? Now that I'm older, I'm looking at things like $20 for a card. I ain't paying for this. Like $100 for, or like $70 to $50 for a figure? I gotta be caught dead paying for one of these things, which is ironic because thanks to a lot of folks here, I had to buy an Exodia figure for about $100 or so. Well, granted, they paid for most of it, but I had to do the thing. I had to buy the thing because of a lot of the amazing folks out here that supported the channel. And in case anyone's wondering, it was their suggestion for me to get the Exodia thing. I was like, I don't need stuff. Like, they should put something on the throne. Here's a suggestion. I was like, you know what? I could probably make that Exodia thing and assemble it on the stream. You know what? That's a pretty good idea. How many bucks? You know what? Fine, I'll pay the $70. Then it turned out to be like 100 and something. Like, you know what? Fine, I'll pay the 100 and something. And this is how we segue into stories. We just ramble for hours on end. I don't even know how we got here, but we did. American Gladiator, I remember that one. Wait, which? Okay, now that you bring up American Gladiator, which show was it that had which one was the live action drama show where it was like American Gladiator, but they were fighting over this dragon medallion thing? Was it called Enter the Dragon? I don't know. No, I think Enter the Dragon was a kung fu movie. I just remember there was like a show. It was similar to American Gladiator, but it was also similar to WWE. Well, back in those times it was called WWF. Before the World Wildlife Foundation got a hold of that name. I think it was World Wildlife Foundation? Something like that. I know that there was a different WWF, so they had to go with WWE. But there was this show. Like WWE mixed with American Gladiator, and there was just this giant dragon trophy that they were fighting over. The last episode I remember seeing was when one person won it and the dragon trophy was supposed to pop up out of that like center pedestal, only for nothing to show up. And that was the cliffhanger that they left you on for years on end, because they also canceled the show for a time before they brought it back, and then nobody really cared. So it was like, oh, well, it is what it is. That's just how it be. All right, let me catch up some ring. Noted. Yeah. Let me see. OG American Gladiator was hard. It was. American Gladiator was great. I agree. I got to see Ranma 1/2 on cable before the 90s. The old anime, my first was Voltron. I think my first anime was either, and now that I think about it, actually funny enough, I'm trying to think, what was the oldest cartoon I ever saw? Because I'm thinking, I know one of the oldest animes I used to see was back in the day during the cartoon or during like the early morning cartoons before school. And the closest thing I could think of an anime that I saw like way back in the day, because I was like, I don't care what it is, I like cartoons. I think it was Sailor Moon. I think that was the first anime I ever saw. Second only being either Pokemon. Yeah, I think the second one being Pokemon. And then the list goes down from there. Well, when I say down, I mean, you know, we got more anime that became more popular over the years after that. Like Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. All right, let me see. Lampy, I'm gonna get some rest. Have a great rest of your stream. Oh, let's see. Have a great rest of your stream. I love your model and the little crow so much. Yo, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. I drew and rigged it myself. And before you go, check it out, Wings. But yeah, I hope you enjoy your... Yeah, I hope you have a good night. Better tomorrow. A great week. And yeah, all that. You go get that rest. You take care now, though. Yeah, you take care now there, friend. Silverhawks were on... Or, yeah, Silverhawks were on around Sailor Moon's first season release. Wait, what are Silverhawks? That's hype? Yo, I'm glad to hear. And thank you, I'm glad that you like the wing. And the model itself. All that good stuff. Fighting for a dragon medallion? Yeah, it was like a giant dragon trophy thing. I don't remember what it was called, though. If I remember, Dragon Ball before Goku grew up was the first time you might... Oh, yeah. If you remember Dragon Ball before Goku grew up the first time, you might be as old as me. Okay, I remember Dragon Ball. I never watched Dragon Ball at the exact time that it came out, but I remember Dragon Ball. I also remember when they had tiny little toys of Gundam. Like, okay. This is how old... this might be very telling of my age. Maybe not, but... Y'all folks remember the market called, or not the market, y'all remember the store called Sears? Me and my family used to get Gundam toys at Sears. Because Gundam was not that popular at that time. It was known, it existed, but only if you were a big nerd or a kid, you didn't know much about Gundam. You didn't even know that it was a thing. The only, well, or if you were a parent that had kids, then you may have known about Gundam. In the West, anyway. But yeah, it was during those times where, like, Gundam was like one of those things where you don't know anything about it, but it's a robot, and I want that robot. It looks pretty cool. I want that robot. That was basically about it when it came to Gundam. Alright, let me try to make sure I caught up with everything. Silverhawks and Thundercats. Okay, Thundercats I recognize, just not Silverhawks. Silverhawks was another anime? Ah, fair. Yeah, I remember the Sears catalog being a big deal to get. I just remember that Simpsons joke. For those of you that don't know what joke I'm talking about, okay, so there's this character, Mo Sizlak. Or, you know, this character from The Simpsons, Mo. He's being interrogated by the police about did he kill Mr. Burns, and he's telling them no. And he's just telling them, you know, he's connected to a lie detector, and he's just trying to explain his alibi. But he keeps on lying about his alibi. And the lies that he tells them at the start is, you know, he was on a... Or, no, it wasn't so much that. He was just explaining to them that, you know, he wasn't there. He was mad at Mr. Burns, but he wasn't there, and he didn't shoot the guy. And, you know, that clears him. And before he can leave, he's still attached to the lie detector, and so he tells them, okay, so can you let me go now? I got a hot date tonight. That was a lie. He says, you know, yeah, he says he has a hot date tonight. Then he says he has dinner with a friend. Also a lie. Dinner alone. Also a lie. Watching TV. Also a lie. And then he tells them, fine. He's gonna look at the Victoria series, or yeah, the Victoria Secret catalog and ogle the models. Also a lie. Pauses for a second. Puts his head down. Tells them that it was the Sears catalog. Then it goes ding. Let's see, who killed Mr. Burns was a good Butterfingers ad. True. Also very true. All right, now that we got that done, let's put the silver to the, oh, wrong layer. Let's add the silver to the earring right there. And now for the last few parts, what we need to do next. Actually, let's make the gun a little bit brighter. A little more visible to see. Also, I miss old Simpsons comedy. They knew what they were doing back then. It was wild. Let's also get a lighter shade of this steel blue. There we go. Something along those lines. Because we also want to make sure that the gun is visible from a distance. We also want to make sure that the gun stands out from the hoodie itself. So we might actually need to bring this a whole lot higher up. Too far. Maybe too bright there. Let's bring it a little bit higher. Not too high. Somewhere around there. That should be good. I mean, he didn't go about it that way. Okay, he didn't say it that way, but yes, that's exactly what he's gonna do. I'm also gonna hide that message. I remember the Sears cat. Okay, so I saw that part. I used to look at video games and hard-held TVs in Sears. I still own a tent I bought at Sears. I forgot about the tents. I was in a kid's psychiatric facility when that was going on. Wait, which one was? Gundam or Sears? Oh, you were in a kid's psychiatric facility when the Sears was out there, or when the Mr. Burns episode was out there? Because not only that, but the Mr. Burns mystery, as crazy as it is there, folks, there were at least two big events in TV, two big TV events that I remember back in the day, and it was who shot Mr. Burns and who died in the King of the Hill Megalomart explosion. And you better believe they left you stuck there for weeks, months on end, wondering, because the King of the Hill one, where the Megalomart blew up, they let you know one person is not coming back from this. Who is that? Find out when the next season of King of the Hill comes out. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And they constantly repeated that episode multiple times just to remind you, hey, by the way, still don't know who on Earth died in that Megalomart explosion. And the other one being who shot Mr. Burns. They left that one on a cliffhanger for quite a while. And they promoted the heck out of the Mr. Burns mystery. Right now, it's just like, okay, I'm also going to show how old I am, because back in the day, a lot of us are hearing who shot Mr. Burns. We all know who it was. We all heard this. It's not big news. But back in the day, when that first episode first came out, everyone was on edge. Everyone was on their seat. Everyone wanted to know who on earth shot Mr. Burns, only to find out it was a freaking baby. That was a plot twist if anyone ever heard of one. Nowadays, it's just like, we all know it was Maggie Bigwell. When I first heard this, people were in awe. People were in shock. What do you mean a baby shot the old guy? How? Explain yourself. I was shipped from Utah to Colorado the week after Who Shot Mr. Burns first aired. Oh, understandable. Fair enough. Also, welcome on in there, Shoop. Let's give a shout out to the Shoop. Their name isn't popping up, but that's okay. We're gonna get them. You can't hide, Shoop. You're not safe. Everybody gets shout out. They don't stream yet, but it's always funny. Or they don't. Yeah. Shoop doesn't stream yet. But I always like to shout them out, because they shout me out literally everywhere they find me. Them and another person always get me. So I'm like, okay, all right, I see you. All right, I understand. Yet. Exactly. Not yet. But when they do, you better be ready. So go support the Shoop in the meantime. Also, we're gonna get the next step, which is we're gonna get a stock wood brown. I don't even know if that's the proper word for it, but we're gonna get a brown for the stock of the gun. Just put that whole thing right there. Just get the wood color. Set that all up. Perfect. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see. Because like I said, we want to make sure that the gun is visible from a distance. And I want to say that gun is very much visible. So we're good right there. Now that we got all that set up, it's time to add the purple. Because we are definitely missing a lot of purple. Because there is a lot of purple. So let's get that purple. Boom. And we just use our select tool, our wand tool, select all that pink. And here's how we're going to get the gradient of purple into the hair. We're going to get our brush, make it really, really big. Reduce the sharpness of said brush. And just, we're not going to use our pen tablet for this. We're going to use the old clicker. I'm learning Blender to make my own model. Hey, that's what's up. Hey, you and, yeah, I know you and another person have been working on Blender. I would also, wait. I wonder, does Requiem work with Blender? They might work with Blender. If you're working on your own model, I highly recommend asking some people about live 2D stuff. Or not live 2D stuff, 3D stuff. There's a lot of folks out there that know a lot of 3D work. There's a Requiem and some other folks. Me, on the other hand, I just sent my 3D work to someone else. Which, by the way, they're currently working on that one. I got the 3D... Yeah, they sent me the 3D model. Now they're just setting it up in Unity for live 3D stuff. So I can finally start using that, or even... yeah, so I can finally start using that for, like, 3D streams if I ever choose to do so. I'm still trying to figure out and trying to think... If I do a 3D stream, what on earth should I do? Anyway, we'll figure that out when we get there. With that being said, we're going to take our brush... We're going to put it at a very sharp... Yeah, we're going to put the sharpness all the way down to 0 so we get a nice gradient. But instead of using our pen tablet, we're putting that down. We're getting the old clicker. And we're just going to click. Multiple times here. Just going to keep on clicking until everything shows up. Let's make sure that we got the proper coloring for it too. We need to bring the color of the purple down a little bit. Just a little. Right there should be good, right here. Because we still want to keep some pink at the top of the hair, but we also want a lot of that purple. Now that we got that done... Oh, wait, actually, we don't remove the selection. Matter of fact, we just get this shade of pink, we get our eraser, and we erase across everything at the top, or everything in the front. There we go. So now we have the pink and purple gradient at the bottom, while everything in the front stays pink. That is our color plan. Purple, purple, purple. Indeed, there, Tron. We do be making the purple. There's gonna be a lot of purple at the bottom of the hair. Now let me make sure we didn't miss nothing here. Yeah, I think we're good. Right, we could also delete this layer. We don't need that. Oh, we need the green. Hold on a minute. Let's get the shade of green. Let's go back over here. Because now we need to do that. We're going to go to our eye layer. We're going to put a transparency lock on that. We're just going to fill in that color. Boom, bright green. That's very bright. We're going to need to fix that. And the next step we need to do is get a darker shade of green. So let's go back to the eyes here. Darker shade. Something like that. There we go. Let's go back over to this side. Actually, you know what? Let's go for the darker shade of green first. And then we get our brush that still has all of the effects that, or all of the features that we added previously, which is the, what's the word I'm looking for? That still has all of the features of the gradient brush. So 0% sharpness, 100% opacity, only using the mouse clicker. We're just going to click at the bottom there. Well, actually, let's tone that down a little bit. Let's actually put our brush at 50% opacity. So when the gradient is there, it's bright enough to where you can see where the gradient is, but dark enough to where when we zoom out, it's not going to get lost in the image. We'll still see that green. There we go. But we still need to finish off one last part, which is go to our line art, select everything there, go back to the eyes, and delete. Oops. Oh, wrong layer. Go back to the eyes, select all of that. Wait, Did we select properly? Let me see. You know what? Yeah, go to the line art, select everything on said line art. Then go back to the eyes. Delete. No. We're gonna go over to our selection tool. Or yeah, we're gonna go to select on our tab up here, go to modify, go all the way down to contract, and contract the pixels by 1. Much better. Go back over to the eyes, delete that, and boom. Clean. Okay, one more time. One more pixel. Contract by 1 more pixel. Then go back to the eyes, delete that. Okay, tell you what, here's how we're gonna go about that, because that ain't working either. We're gonna take our brush, we're gonna take our eye layer, we're gonna reduce the opacity on that, perfect, and then we're gonna remove the transparency line. This way, we can just take our eraser and get a nice clean cut across. That's our game plan here. Get him indeed. All right, let's see. Missed? Oh, missed the, I don't deserve the line, or yeah. Oh, that part. Yeah, it didn't feel like that part was needed to be brought up when explaining that part of the joke. I just wanted to bring up the Sears catalog. If I take off my glasses, it's not. Wait, what was that? Wait, which part were we talking about? Purple. Purple indeed. Yo, Karibo Lord, welcome on in. How you be? I hope you're having a good day, buddy. Oddly enough, the Blender subreddit is actually helpful to new people. Oh yeah, that one I can understand. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about like, yeah, who doesn't want to talk about like the, actually, how do I put it? I can imagine them being very helpful. I've actually learned a few things from the Blender subreddit, and they really like helping out a lot of people over there. Last I remember. I think it's because they finally get to nerd out about Blender. Like, hey, how does this work? All right, you buckle up there, buddy. And then they just go off. All right, now that we got that, let's put the opacity back on. Close enough. Hold on a minute, though. I am seeing this side, and I want to clean that up a little bit. So let's round that out. Nope, too much. Round that out a little bit right there, and we should be good. Let's zoom out. Perfect. Now that we got that done, it's finally time for the shading, the shadows, all of that. How do we go about that? We make a new layer. And we're actually going to go to our layers tab. We're going to find the tab that says normal. We're going to put that as, actually, no, we keep it as normal, but we're going to go to the opacity and drop that thing down to 40% on the layer. So specifically the layer, not the brush this time. Most of the time, I usually like to lower the opacity on the brushes, but for this case, just the layer. And we're just going to go with simple black and white for our brush. Why do we do that? You're about to see why. Because we're going to add the shadows on said layer. All the shadows, all of this stuff. Here we go. Drag this point of the brush across. We just add them shadows. Oh, right, I also forgot. Let's put the clipping mask. We're going to go back to the layer that we have right here, because as you can see, it goes a little too far off. And we could probably just erase that, but what we can also do is go to our layer over here. Hold on a minute. We're going to move the entire bug out of the way for a second for this one. That spot right there. You can find, yeah, we select this layer here. And we're going to right click on that, or left click. Wait, yeah, no, right click. We're going to right click on this, and an entire tab will pop up, which you cannot see on the screen right now, but an entire tab will pop up. And you're just going to find the one that says clipping mask. Click on that. Also, make sure this layer is above the one that you want, which is the base color layer. When we do that, you will see that this shadow here, we can go as far as we want on this, as a matter of fact. We could go absolutely ham. And then once we put that clipping mask, gone. Non-existent. Never happened. Yo, Bellinar, thank you for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. Let's give a shout out to the Bellinar. Why can I not find... Oh, because I'm putting E. I need to put A. I was wondering, like, wait, why is it messing up? I can't find it. Folks, go check out Bellinor. They are also bugged. They also stream. Really awesome times over there. Really cool. Yeah, really cool streams over there. Very casual, very interactive, very chatty. Always a good time. They nerd out about all sorts of games. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend that you do. And everybody stopping by from Bellinar's stream. Hold on a minute. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator for full-size Moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes live to rigging streams. And today is one of those drawing streams. We're currently working on an emote to bully one of our buddies. I hope you all enjoy your day. I hope you all enjoy your stay. And if you gotta take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about raiding and running, because that's what raids are all about. But if you decide to stick around, I greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your stay. How was Space Station 14? I haven't heard about that one in forever. Wait, is that the one that I'm thinking of? Is that the one where the game gives you a role and you have a role to play on a space station, and it's either to A, be a medic, be a spy, be an arsonist, be a security, stuff like that? Is that one Space Station 14? I'm not entirely certain. Kinda? Ah, fair. That sounds pretty cool. But yeah, how did Space Station 14 go? I hope it went well. Oh, if I take off my glasses, I can't see the outlines. Also true and fair. If you have blurry, yeah, if you have blurry vision, no one can see anything. That's fair. What about the sparkle color? Oh yeah. Okay, so the sparkle color, we can add that. Wait, which sparkle color? Well, yeah, what part are you talking about there, EB? I'm just used to the majority of Reddit being all... Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's most of Reddit. I mean, it's not to say that not every place... Or, yeah, it's not to say... How do I put it? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Any part of the internet can mostly be bad if you're looking in the wrong places. If you're looking in the usual places. The only way to really get away from all of that is to find out where the places that you don't want to be, or yeah, not so much find out where the places you don't want to be are, it's that when you stumble upon a place that you don't like, where you don't want to be there, and it just seems very, very toxic, you just walk away from there. Never look back. And you just keep on doing that until you find the places that, you know what, this ain't so bad. It's actually pretty chill. It's actually pretty helpful here. Also, let me see. It's a space station job roleplay disaster simulator. Very good. Been addicted to the game for a while. Oh. Oh, so it is a job sim. Okay. I gotta see that stream. I gotta see the Space Station 14, because that actually sounds really, really cool. I gotta see what that's all about. And that sounds pretty good. Or at least it sounds pretty fun. That's what I'm trying to say. Been addicted to this game for a while. Dang, that's wild. That's crazy. You can do a lot of shenanigans with it. Oh, I gotta see Space Station 14 now. If you could do a lot of shenanigans, that's all I need to hear. The earring. I didn't know it was colored or not, since it matches the background. Oh, yeah. We got the earring in there. It's just, yeah, it's very similar to the background, but it's got the color in there. So yeah, now we just got to add the lighting and the shadows and we'll be good for this image. Well, not finished with it, but we still got a bit of a ways to go. But we're nearing the end on that. Also, Uno Raptor Mom, thank you for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day there, buddy. I hope things be good. I hope things be well. Also, we got to do the intro again. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-side Moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes I like to do rigging streams. And today is one of those drawing streams. We're currently working on a gun emote. I hope you all enjoy your day. Hope you all enjoy your stay. If you gotta take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about writing and running, because that's what raids are all about. But if you decide to go around, I greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your stay. How was things? Let's give a shout out to Uno Raptor Mon, because I forgot to do that part. Do not worry, we will get you. Hope things are well. Hope things are good. Hope you had a lot of fun with the streaming that you were doing. Welcome on in there, Thanos. How that was the Pokemon Shield. I hope you had a lot of fun with the Pokemans. Uno had her annual memorial fundraiser day. Hey, that's what's up. Just finished my 12-hour memorial charity stream. Yo, nice. Glad to hear that. I hope it was good. Also, welcome on in there, Outcast Chicken. I am worried. Whenever I see Outcast Chicken, I get a little worried, like, But yeah, I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. I hope things are going well. All right, now let me see. What's the next step? We were adding the shadows. Just adding all this shade. Oh yeah, also, that's the reason why we put the shadow at 40% opacity, because despite the fact... Okay, there's two ways we could go about this. We could either just pick the image, or, you know, pick the color, and pick a darker shade, and do that for every single thing that we have here, or we can make a new layer, put a different opacity on it, or put a lower opacity so it's transparent, and then boom, easy. We already got, or yeah, we end up with our shadows and our shades, and we have our multiple colors on said shadows with literally doing no color picking at all whatsoever. As you can see, like so. And then boom, easy, very simple, very nice. Let's see. We blew past the initial goal. I'd say it was a massive success. Hey, that's what's up. Congratulations there, Uno. I'm glad to hear that not only did you make it to where you were aiming for, but you went beyond. That's what's up. That's always good to hear. Also, ads start in a minute. I'm glad to hear that. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty swell. And that's always a good sign. I'm too broke to donate this year. Honestly, fair and understandable. Sometimes money is tough. Sometimes money is tight. Also, we're going to get our smudge tool. We're going to get our smudge tool at 100% sharpness, 30% strength. We're going to add that. We're going to add a little bit of a metallic look to our gun here by taking our smudge tool and just dragging it in a circular cylinder motion, like so. And the reason why we keep the reason why we also add a 100% sharpness on this is so we can add a tiny little toothy effect to give it like a metallic look right there. That's the effect. Now that we got that done, let's go back to the brush and let's add some shade to the vents, like so, and there, and a bit there, and a little there. We should be good on that end. Let's put that shade and shadow there. We're also going to take the eyes and put them behind everything. I just realized I could have just done that this entire time. I forgot. We didn't have to go through the whole thing of... You know what? Hold on a minute. Since we're on the eyes, let's grab our smudge tool and just pull those edges in. Since the eyes are behind the line art now, because I put them in front of the base but behind the line, we could actually just put the eyes like that. And I just didn't realize that till just now. Whoops. That's okay. We could fix that problem now. There we go. We're all good. We're all set. We're all hunky-dory. And just like that, we are in the code. Oh, right. Let's also add some shadow around the inner layers of... How do I put it? The bottom left, or the bottom inside of the hair, which on the left side, it would be the bottom right. And on the right side, it would be the bottom left. Like so. And just like that, we're all set. All right, let me see. I'll take that as my cue to get some sleep. All good, all good. You go get that sleep, you go get that rest. And I thank you for stopping by, and I thank you again for the raid there, Uno Raptor. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope you have a good night, a better tomorrow, and a great week. You take care now there, buddy. And we're nearly set with this. We just got to add that shadow to the back of the hair. And we should be fine with that. However, we only added the shadows. It's time to add the highlight. So instead of using a black color, we're going to use a white color. And we're going to add that on top, like here, like so. Instead of putting it at the bottom, or, you know, on the bottom and the inside of the hair, we're actually going to put this at the outside and the top of the hair, like so. Also going to add a little bit of shine. We're going to add some squiggles to the streaks of the hair as well, like that. Make a little bit of a tornado on the sides. We also want to add a lot of lighting to the top of the gun, like that. And add a squiggle to the top of, or yeah, add another squiggle to the top of the metal, as well as a top squiggle to the wood itself. And last but not least, let's add a little bit of an outline to the back of the hair, give it a nice shine. Last but not least, let's add some highlights to the, well, not so much of a highlight, we're just going to add one streak across the earring there, and let's add an outline around the around the sleeve, around the arm, like so. And there we go. That is nearly set. We're nearly there. Oh yeah, Moth, gonna raid and run. Was a long stream and forgot to eat. All good there, Bellinor. Go get that food. Go get that. Yeah, go get that food. You go get that rest. And I thank you again for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. You go take care of things. And I hope you have a good day, a good night, a better tomorrow, some good food, and all of that good stuff. Dude, why did I never think to shade with clipping and black and white? You're a genius. Thank you. To be fair, I've been doing this for a long time. I've also been looking into a lot of research stuff. Like, whenever anything art-wise I stumble upon it, I'm like, okay, I am saving this. I am keeping this in my memory banks, because this is something I especially need to keep in the future. Later down the road, shoulder, yeah, shoulder or arm, stuff like that. So I've been looking into a lot of things, especially when came to emotes. I was looking into a lot of things about emotes. Speaking of, there's actually 2 more features we need to add to this to really make it pop. Because, as you can see, it's got a very thick black outline around it. But what if I told you we can make it pop out some more by taking that outline and adding some color to it? Adding some darker purples, or maybe some brighter pinks. Maybe some other features. I'm gonna show you right now. Now the line art, we're gonna put that as a transparency lock, so we do not affect anything. Actually, you know what? Not even a transparency lock. We're gonna get a new layer for this. We are going to get a new layer, and we're gonna put a clipping mask around that. So we can tinker around with all the colors here without actually affecting the line art at all whatsoever. So let's get some very strong pinks and some very dark purple. Actually, not even very dark purples. Let's get some very strong purples in there as well. But a bit of dark purples, very bright pinks, very dark purples, all of that good stuff. And now we're going to get our brush, still at 0% sharpness. And we're going to get our mouse clicker, and we're going to put the bright pinks where the dark colors are, and we're going to put the dark purples where the bright colors are. Now, the reason why we do that specifically is to make those darker colors, those darker tones, pop out a lot more. Actually, you know what? We could just put the whole pink right there, like so. And then we get our purple. And add the purple where need be necessary. Like at the top up here. Mostly in the top area. top right area, like so. But in the darker areas, we just get that pink. Or when it gets closer to the purple, we add more pink, like so. Like in these areas, we add the pink to where the sleeves are and where the shadows are. And where the top of the brighter metals are, we just add purple. Now, the reason why we do that is because we got to make a separate test on this. What is that separate test? Well, we got gray. So the gray background, anything could be visible on that gray background. But I'm going to show you something right quick. Let's say we had an all dark background here, or an all dark outline here. And we took this. We make it small. Okay, small enough, seems visible, we could see everything, but if we made everything dark? Then we might lose some features. We might lose that there's an actual arm, or what is that brightness over there, am I right? But if that's the case, why don't we just make the outline very, very bright then? Boom, problem solved, right? Well, one, that looks a little weird, and if we put a bright background behind that, then you can see we lost even more stuff. So we don't want that. So that is why, no matter what it is, if it's bright or if it's dark, instead of having all those, we have some very specific colors. So now, as you can see, in a very, very bright background, you can still see the image. In a very, very dark background, you can still see the image completely. This is why sometimes you want to add multiple colors to your outline itself. Plus, not only that, but it also makes it really pop out. Even from far away, it really makes it pop. So there you go. And we're not even done yet. There's one last thing to do. This is literally the last part. One more thing to go. New layer. Behind the shadows, behind the eyes, all of that stuff. Let me see. I don't know if anyone ever asked this question, but hasn't there been, well, let's see. But hasn't there been able to have, but have there been able to be V2 poker cards? Would it be best to use transparent backgrounds then? Like this one? It would be, but that's what I mean. Like, okay, so it would be good to have a transparent background, and we will have a transparent background, but the thing about the background here is that this background is to help us figure out the compatibility of a transparent background. Because now that you mentioned that one there, Angel, a transparent background is ideal. But because it's a transparent background, it could be anything. Oh, wait, my bad. Angel was asking about the poker cards, which I think we should have some VTuber poker cards out. I actually know someone who is drawing some VTuber poker cards, or you know, has commission for poker cards. Nakamata, you were the one that was asking that. Having a transparent background is good, but it's also a double-edged sword, or not so much a double-edged sword. But the thing is that the reason why I have the black and white background is because of this. The black and white background is only a test. It's not going to be there in the final product. It is only there so we can see how it would look behind any background. If we have a, yeah, because some people use light mode, some people use dark mode. We want to make sure this emote is compatible with both. And I know light mode sounds, what's the word I'm looking for? Light mode sounds heretical. It sounds like blasphemy. But because people use that, we want to make sure that it's ready for this emote's ready for any background. That's what we need. Not only that, but you never know. Sometimes people use their emotes as a fugi. And if they use their emote as a fugi, then the background will be forever changing, constantly changing. We want to make sure this image is ready for when that change happens. I hope that explained. I see. Great to hear. Great to hear. So, I think we got yeah, I think the point got across. That's good to know. But yeah, going back to that one there. Also, I hope you're having a good day there, Angel. I hope things be well. I hope things be good. And now that you bring it up, I kind of want to talk to somebody about poker cards now, because I know someone who draws poker cards. They actually drew a poker card image for us as a fan art, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'm thinking, you know what? They should promote that. They should promote that as making the entire poker card thingy. Like, make an entire poker card set as a YCH and tell people, like, yeah, we could design this entire poker card set for you. Stuff like that. I think it would be amazing. Also, I have a general question regarding emotes. Oh. I have a general question regarding emotes. Is art style consistency important? I've seen people use it as a branding in a way to do the poses or expressions matter too. Okay. That is actually a good question. That's a lot to unpack as well. Okay, so consistency. I would say it definitely helps. It's not necessary, but it can be helpful depending on the situation, because I know there's a lot of streamers that go to one person for emotes. I know a few streamers that go multiple people with emotes. I could show you a perfect example right here, where on one hand, let me try to find a good example, because I'm going to use an example of someone who's commissioned me and other people for emotes here and there. I know a very, very particular bat that works perfectly for this example. So, you got a Not Evil Control Freak here, where they got multiple emotes, like so. If I'm correct, most of these emotes were made by one person, but then they also have other wild emotes. I think, if I'm correct, these ones are made by different people, and they all fit the bill. And then last but not least, there's this thing. So, I want to say that the emotes depend, like, I want to say that you don't have to fit the brand, or yeah, you don't have to stick with a singular type of emote, but I will say, when it comes to emotes in general, I want to say it mostly depends on two major factors. One, how often do you think your audience are going to use those emotes? Like, I personally would always like to say, when it comes to emotes, I think the main thing that you really want is versatility behind said emotes. Or versatility or optimization when it comes to those emotes. What do I mean by that? And also, do the expressions matter? I would say those expressions very much do matter. The expressions especially. Like, for example, what Mooney and Eepy were just dropping right there. You got the lurk emote, that explains, yeah, they're lurking. You got the eyes emote. Now, the eyes could mean a lot of things. It could either mean anger, excitement, height, determination, all sorts of things. That's what I mean by versatility. Sometimes one emote could say a lot of things. Other times, an emote could say one thing, but say it really, really well. Like the sad expression right there. That sad expression only says one thing. They are sad. But it says it very well, and it says something that a lot of people can use on multiple occasions. That's what you want for an emote. The main things you want from emotes are two main things. Optimization and versatility. Or one or the other. You don't have to have both, but you have to at least have one when it comes to your emote. Oh, and visibility too. Like I said before. It doesn't matter how versatile that emote is, or how effective, well, actually, yeah, effective, or how specific that emote is, if you can't see what it is. If you can't see what it is, then that kind of leads to another issue. So you kind of want to have that not be the case. Speaking of, we're actually going to Get our brush one more time, go back over here, and darken the center a little bit so you could actually see what it is. We're darkening it a bit too much, so let me try that one more time. We're gonna go back to this part. We're gonna make our brush a little bit smaller. There we go, perfect. Also, let me see. So, like these ones where it's more versatile versatile in its uses in expression. Yes, exactly. If you could find the versatility in that expression, then that will really stand out. But at the same time, like I said, you also got to make sure that the features that you have are very specific, that people can tell exactly what they're looking at. Because if they can't tell what they're looking at, chances are they're less likely to use that emote, because if they can't tell what they're looking at, other people might be less likely to understand what they're seeing. And if people are less likely to understand what they're seeing, people are less likely to use it more because it doesn't get the point across. Hence the reason why we wanted to emphasize that's a gun. Oh, speaking of which. We want to make sure this one and this one are pitch black for the barrel, because we want to make sure that the inside of the barrel is easily noticeable that, yeah, that is a shotgun. Or at least some binoculars. Someone will maybe look at it like, what are they spying on? Oh, they're not spying on anything. They chose violence today. Understandable. All right, now for the last part. Like I mentioned, we're gonna get our brush, or we're gonna get this new layer that is behind the eyes and the shadow, but above the color scheme. We're gonna take that and we're gonna put overlay as our layer, and we're gonna do the exact same thing as before. But this time, we're just gonna take our giant brush, increase the size of said giant brush, and we're just going to use the black and the white to add a little more poof to said color. So we're going to start with we're going to start with black for our overlay and just click at the bottom right. Then for the white, we're going to move it to the other side, and at the top left, we're going to click right there. Maybe a little too bright. Let's move it a little bit further out. Okay, so for the darker color, we're gonna click on the corner with the corner of our circle. Click like so. Oh, wrong one. Click like so with the bottom of our corner. And then for the top corner, we're gonna use the edge of the circle. We're not gonna actually put the circle on the image itself at all. We're just gonna put it on the edge of that circle, or on the edge of the image, and then click like that. And now it gives it a little bit of brightness, makes it pop out at the top right, makes it a little bit darker at the bottom left, stuff like that. We should be good. And now we're done. Actually, one last thing we could do. Oh, right. Actually, funny enough, now that you bring up the hand turkey, that brings up one last factor that I kind of forgot to bring up. Thank you for putting that there. Yeah, thank you for putting that there, Nekomata. That, as well as EB, because I forgot both of those emotes actually have a very specific thing to it, and those ones actually kind of break the rule of what I mentioned earlier. Those two break the rule of the versatility as well. Well, maybe not the cheese, but the hand turkey and the lampy hunter, those two break the versatility of that, or the effectiveness of that. Same with the barn. Yes, same with the barn. All three of those break the two rules that I just brought up, which is versatility and effectiveness, for two reasons, or one main reason. And this reason kind of sometimes supersedes the other two. And what does supersede mean? Well, obviously it means, well, maybe not obviously, but supersede basically means it overrides it. It can't, or yeah, it overrides it. Normally this would be the norm, but these force the exception. I think it's Cowboy Lampy Yeehaw. I mean, I guess there's that too. But the barn, the hand turkey, and the Bloodborne Hunter Lampy, they all still function despite the fact that they broke the main two rules that I brought up, and they only work in a very specific place and only for a very specific reason. Those three are community specific emotes. Those aren't meant for the outside world. They aren't meant for any stream. They might be usable in any other stream, but for the most part, those ones are usually there because community ideas. Specifically community ideas. Those that have been here long enough know that that's a Bloodborne emote. Those that have been here long enough saw the hand turkey comic that was drawn. Those who've been here long enough, especially the really, really old guards, know what that cursed barn means. So they know what that's all about. No one else will. That's why I bring up that those three emotes break the rules that I mentioned. Every other emote, unless it's for your community specifically, they should follow the two rules that I brought up. Versatility and specificity. Or, being specific, but effective in what they do. Those ones are not effective in what they do, but they build character in said community. Because again, the emote, the barn, the hand turkey, anywhere else, that's not going to make any sense. You're going to look at that like, I have no reason to drop any of these emotes anywhere else. But if we're in a Lampy stream, if we're with our community, this makes sense. We all get what it means. Those that don't get what it means, the rest, everyone else could explain it. Like, what on earth is this emote? Oh, that was that time when he was playing Bloodborne, like a lot. Like a lot. Oh, what's a hand turkey? Oh, you never heard of hand turkey? Okay, so there was this whole story, blah, 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 blah. And what's this emote? And then before they could explain it, I'm immediately like, we don't talk about the barn. And that's all there is to it. And then they explain what the barn is anyway, and then I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So yeah, it is what it is, It is what it is. And so yeah, I guess when you look at it, there's three specific ways, or there's three things to know about an emote. One, do you feel like people will use this very often? If so, nice. Two, would this be used in many other or in multiple occasions? If it is, then people will use it more often. Nice. And then the third one, which I'm now just brought up to this point, is, does your community want it? Did somebody say, hey, it would be a great idea? Can we get this emote? Boom, there it is. Hand turkey? Yeah, hand turkey. Turkey? Yeah. I'm not sure what these ones are personally. Ah, fair. Okay, so, Nakamata, to answer that question. The hand turkey, that was from a dumb comic that we made earlier. The cheese, okay, I just wanted to put the cheese. That's basically it. We just put cheese because, yeah, I could. I don't know what this one means, but I like it. Ah, that's the Bloodborne emote. That was when we were playing Bloodborne like nobody's business. And yes, same with the barn. So there you go. I will say though that Singer noted emote. See, that's what I mean by versatility. That could be used for a lot of things, or it could be used for a very specific thing. You can either use it jokingly, like okay, so you smell like a garbage can, got it, and then you just start writing that down, or oh, this was very helpful, I'm gonna remember this, boom, noted. Stuff like that. Hydrate, good idea. Thank you for the hydrate there, Spock. Thank you for the save. All right. But given your community grows, wouldn't that mean having to eventually change the community-centered emote? Not quite. Also, thank you for the hydrate there, Luke. Speaking of, folks, go check out Lil. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy, that's a good place to go. If you're a fan of many funny games, that's a good place to go. Also, given your community grows, wouldn't that mean that you have to change your centered emotes or community-centered emotes? I want to say that depends entirely. Because you're not wrong. As the community grows, sometimes those emotes may lose what it means. But those that have been here for a long time will always remember those emotes. And if you get rid of them, you're kind of erasing the history that you had with those folks. So sometimes you might want to keep those emotes, depending on the situation. If those people if the old guard in your community are no longer there, then maybe it's time to give them their rightful send-off. But if you know that some of the old guards from your old community are still there and kicking, you want to keep those there, because it shows that, they mattered. They were important. And you still remember them, even to this day. All that good stuff. Or at least that's just me personally. I don't know. I may be talking out my butt here, though. I could be wrong. But I will still say this. Again, as you mentioned, or as Spock had shown with 5 out of those 6 emotes, there's going to be people that remember those. Yeah, people are going to remember what those emotes were about and why they are there and why they exist. And if you get rid of that, like I said, it's like, dang. I miss that emote. I remember back in those days. It was like a nostalgic feeling. Seeing that emote from way back in the day. That sort of stuff. I see. Yeah. Alright. Now that we got everything set up, we're going to delete this. Oh, wrong layer. We're going to delete the background. We're going to save this as a PNG. No, not JPEG, PNG. We're going to save this as a PNG, and we're going to test this out. We're going to see if the image works. If not, we can always bring this down to like 300 pixels. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let me test something right quick. And I just saw someone that's raiding or streaming right now, and I think I know who we could raid into. So we might just drop people off over there. They don't know that I'm thinking about this idea. We might drop people off over there. Possibly. Anyway, mute this tab, go over here. Gonna test out this emote to see if it works. Let me see. Actually, you know what? I could just do that part in the background. Because this ain't gonna be on my channel, so I can't really show if it actually worked or not. So I should just possibly just drop this. Well, actually it worked, so now I know that it functioned. So I can close that, and I'm going to call it a day here. I will be back on Tuesday. I don't know what I'm going to be drawing on Tuesday, but I'm probably going to be back on Tuesday to draw something. I'm thinking about streaming on Wednesdays. I want to say Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm not 100% certain that I'm going to be able to pull it off on Wednesdays, but I'm going to try to stream on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, as well as Fridays and Sundays. I'll see how well it works. We'll try. I miss the good vibes of bagel one streamer used to have. Case and point right there. Spock, thank you. Because I mentioned earlier that, sometimes the old guards of the streams, or, like older viewers, like to remember those old emotes that used to be there, but once they're gone, it's like, dang, I used to use that emote a lot. It was a weird emote, but I used to use that one. Spock, case in point, the bagel. I don't know what the vibes bagel is, but that actually sounds pretty funny. And I kind of like the idea of vibes bagel. All right, we're going to copy this name, and we're going to drop you folks off with a, how do I put this? We're going to drop you folks off with a certain person that is also madly obsessed with Elden Ring Night Rain. Well, they say they're madly obsessed with Elden Ring Night Rain. We actually played Night Rain with them the last time I streamed it. So, I'm going to drop you folks off with a Clueless K. Here you go. Let's raid on out to Clueless K. And you know what? Since we were using the gun emote, I think this is a good time to just put wings up, guns up. So here's our regular raid message. Boom, there we go. That's a lot of folks here. What are y'all doing here? Either way, that being said, thank you all for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you would like to keep up with the channel, one good way you can do so is by checking out the links page over here. You can find out when we're streaming, what art we're working on, what the process is, and if we come up with any new stuff, or like any merch stuff and stuff like that, or when we streams, all of that. And also, if you would like to support the channel, you can also check out the Etsy page. We got affordable models over there. We got merch on the fourth wall page. We got Lampy plushies and 3D printed figures. We also have free stuff on the coffee page. And if you or someone you know is looking for emotes, assets, character sheets, character concepts, live 2D models, both big and small, whether it just be the art or just the rig, or even animations, you can either contact me directly or go to the vgen page. Every little bit helps, as it keeps the roof over my head and all that good stuff. And with that being said, always remember, you're all awesome in your own way, because you folks make these streams and this community what it is. It's awesome chatting with you folks, cracking jokes, brainstorming, all that good stuff. And if you lurk, that's great too. But the fact that you took the time out of your day to have this bug rambling on and all that means more to me than you could possibly imagine. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right, let's go support the Clueless K, and I hope you all have a good night, a better tomorrow, a great week, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Laters.